moments. We are live.
Hello, everyone. This is Miguelina Betty, aka Catwoman from Tech Valor, and today is Wine Wednesday. Ladies, take over. You guys know me. I'm here all the time. I have no life. Woo! Next.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm scrumptious. I guess I have just as much life as you do because I'm usually here too, along with the rest of the crew. So we're here to talk tech. Get your popcorn ready.
Next.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Somebody got a frozen face. Oh boy. All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Eric from Music Computer Solutions. This is Wine Wednesday. All right. So we got all the ladies in the building, and I'm gonna let them some of them introduce themselves. What happened to Emily? Emily is in the building. She left, I guess, and she come back. So we got some technical difficulties going on. It's all good. Technical difficulties are all good. But look at here, we have right here the lovely lady from the Tech Couple is in the building. Introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
All right. Hi, guys. My name is Charisse. My husband and I have a YouTube channel called The Tech Couple. This is my first time being on Wine Wednesdays. We were live on Saturday a couple of weeks ago, but I'm very grateful to have been invited to kick it with the other tech-savvy ladies. It's going to be a good time.
Yes. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. Ladies, please put your drinks in the air. And Emily's coming back. All right. So Emily got to introduce herself. Emily Baker is in the building. How you doing?
Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. I got cut off by the NSA, I think. I'm Emily Baker. Hi, everybody. I am here a lot. My channel is Emily D. Baker ESQ. I help people make good decisions. So on my YouTube channel, I talk about tech, well, Apple tech. Let's be real. I talk about Apple tech. I talk about things that I love all over the internet. You will hear me talking about legal issues because I am a lawyer, mom stuff because I'm a mom, and Pokemon Go stuff because I'm a nerd.
So I want to give a huge toast to all the ladies in the building. Huge toast.
Oh, I forgot my drink.
Another episode of Wine Wednesday. You got time?
Yeah.
Emily gonna get us. Another episode of Wine Wednesday. Trust me, we're doing several toasts tonight. So thank y'all very much for coming forward. Yes. Oh, what she got there? What is that?
She got kombucha.
All right, there it is. What you have there, Miss Emily?
Okay, so my house got hit by the stomach flu like nobody's business right after Thanksgiving. So I am drinking kombucha because the thought of alcohol right now makes me not feel good. So we are recovering. So we are doing a restful, healthful drink. And then next week, I've got a beautiful bottle of sparkling rosé that I can't wait to drink. But this week, this is a recovery week. Every athlete needs one. So we're gonna recover.
So what happened with Black Friday? Everybody got their tech toys and everybody good? What happened? What y'all got? What's going on? Because we passed up Black Friday, now Cyber Monday. Who got what? Did the guys get something or did the ladies get something?
Oh man, I'm all checked out.
Y'all checked out?
You are right now. I wouldn't call it necessarily a Black Friday deal, but I am talking to you guys on my latest piece of tech. I got a fully loaded MacBook Pro with a touch bar, the 15-inch, fully spec'd out. So yeah, I'm very excited to put this baby to use. We just unboxed it. We'll have a video up on the channel of it either late tonight or tomorrow of the unboxing of this. But yes, I am. This baby's beautiful.
Yes. So how do you like the Mac with the touch bar? I mean, that thing is gorgeous. Isn't it gorgeous?
I can't stop looking at it since we got it and got it unboxed, got the kids home. I'm like, kids, just go away. Just take care of yourself. Mommy got a new toy. No, it's, oh God, it's so fast and so pretty, man. I just can't wait to figure out how far I can push it. It's got the 3.1 gigahertz processor in it. So I'm just trying to figure out like what I can make this bad boy do.
You can edit lots of 4K video with it.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah. I've been hooking it up. My next to most recent piece of tech was a 4K cinema display. So I've been hooking this up to that, and I can't wait to edit something on it. I feel like we're gonna be friends. Over Black Friday, we got my husband because I am holding out. I love my MacBook Air, and I am holding out for a iMac Pro, which is coming this month or next month, and it looks so good. But I couldn't get a new MacBook. But we got my husband a new MacBook Pro 13-inch, no touch bar, because he doesn't need it. And it is amazing. Like, it's just so beautiful. I am now really jealous because that new keyboard is so nice to use. So just setting up his new computer for him today, I was like, damn it, I want a new computer. But we hit the Apple Black Friday deals. This year, they only did a gift card to buy more Apple stuff. Normally, they knock things off a couple $100. This year, they're like, come back and shop. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be buying that HomePod speaker thing. So I might as well buy the computer now, get the $200 back to Apple, and then buy the HomePod when it comes out in a month or two.
Yes.
So
that's what I'm talking about.
But I bought this.
Show us. What is that?
It is a Canon EOS M6.
Nice.
So it is a Canon mirrorless, because I shoot most of my videos on a Canon GX7 and I love it, but it does not have a mic port. This little guy will work with all of my Canon DSLR lenses. It does something Sony doesn't do.
Yay!
That's the YouTube life right there. And it has a mic fitting. So my mic can go right up here, and it's got a mic port, and it is little. So this, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how we like it. I mean, everybody wants to get the 4K cameras, but my GX7 looks great. Even when I pop my videos up on my TV, I am happy with the way that they look. So I don't see the need for right now for 4K. I do mostly face to camera stuff. I'm not doing like slow-mos of my car or anything like that. The 4K is not maybe something that I need. I need a flip-up screen. Like, I need to make sure that I'm in focus. So that's what I got for me. And then a lot of great deals on stuff that I got for Christmas for the kids who are still awake. So I'll leave those in the chat room if they want. But the chat room saying the pop-up is clutch. It is. And the Canon G or the Canon M5 had a flip screen that flipped down. And I'm like, what? You can't put that on a tripod. What? Like, what who did you ask about a
didn't think that through.
You can't work with that. So I needed that flip up screen life. So I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to shoot on it, which should be tomorrow.
If there was like a viewfinder that you could like pop out completely and it could be like wireless, that would be like the business.
Yeah, and you can get, I mean, I've used my Canon 5D Mark III, but you have to get this strange tripod configuration to get the external monitor on the tripod, and it's a headache. And I don't have a filming setup all the time. I am a mobile YouTuber. I live in a tiny house with my family of 4. I film in my kitchen or my garage or wherever, so I need something that will go on a tripod and then break down. I can't set 9 things up on a tripod to film. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. So I need a camera that can go up, look beautiful, and film.
Well, if you had an Android phone, then you could connect it to your Nikon and then just download the app. I think it's called the Viewfinder app. And then you could just use your, like, any regular phone with any Android phone with it.
I love you, but I don't use Android or Nikon.
Or
Android's going to use her before she uses Android.
I'm just saying, you could just get yourself like a cheap Android phone or even like a cheap Android tablet, and then you could have like a.
But it would work. And that's what a lot of people do. But I don't use Nikon.
Oh,
Shoot,
and Canon too. And Canon does.
Oh, I didn't look.
Mhm.
At the Canon app. I'll look.
We connect
look at
ours
that. I
right
like
to
that.
the TV.
You
We
connect
connect
yours
the
to your
camera-
TV?
So we connect the camera to the TV. We use a Sony. It's a little 4K one. My brain is escaping me on the exact model because we looked at so many of them.
So like
But we
A6000 or the A5000?
Exactly. We connect it right to the TV in the living room so that we can see in all of the 4K resolution, get everything framed up, since we typically shoot this in different spaces around our living room. That way we can get it done, because it's such a freaking headache trying to like line up the shot and then be like, okay, where your feet were, and then go look at the camera and make sure you're in focus and in the frame. So yeah, but ever since we figured that out and we've been connecting it to TV, it's like, but it would be nice to have a camera with a display on it. We were talking about that, but we might get one next time. It is a little expensive. I mean, the camera we got was already expensive. We're like, dang, we didn't even think through the fact that it didn't have the display on it until we got it. And we're like, well, shoot, we can't send this back now. But
I was looking at some that you could buy that like says that it works for like every DSLR, but it's close to like $7,000 for the viewfinder, and it works wirelessly and it works wired too. But I'm like, I ain't got that kind of dough, not yet.
Not if an Android tablet will work. I mean, why even spend that much money?
Yeah. That's what I use. I use my tablet for that. But I don't.
I can tell you that I'm looking at a Christmas tree in your background. I reread it over there, right? Yeah, the tech couple got a Christmas tree in the background, and look at that tree, y'all. She's
beautiful.
And that's what you're supposed to do after Thanksgiving.
Look, people can say what they want, but I tell you what, that camera on that MacBook is King Supreme. It's gorgeous.
Nice. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh, thank y'all.
Yeah, it is. It looks good.
Yeah.
Now I want a new computer. It'll cost me money, people.
Oh no, trust me. This was it took a lot seeing that total and then hitting, check out, go ahead and pay now. It's like, oh my God. But I had a heart attack. I'm like, babe, I don't know if I can do this. But seeing it in person now that it's here, it's like, okay. It was worth it, especially since I know it's gonna last me a long time.
Yeah, that's a workhorse computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I say the same thing when I bought this gaming laptop. I did the unboxing of I got this Asus, I don't know, the 703, this $2,000 PC that I got sitting over here, and I did a video of it. It's been all right so far, but yeah, I do understand when we could get down to checkout. You look at that price after taxes. I always tell people after taxes, like, Eric, you don't know what you talk about. That phone only costs $499. Yeah, $499 before tax. After tax, that's how I like to look at it. After tax.
Sean B. Nice is gonna stop going in on your earpod.
Oh, it's okay. Everybody can't afford them, so I can't be mad at the folks who don't.
Oh, you want some ice for that?
It's the one. Yeah. The tax is a killer. When Corey, my husband, he got the trash can Mac Pro when it was new a few years back, and that tax was like $500-600. It was brutal. So we actually wound up finding the closest state to us with no tax and just planned a road trip. We had it delivered to an Apple store in Delaware. We're in North Carolina. And we just made a road trip of it. We were like, we can save like $600 just driving there. That's less in gas. And we like each other. We don't mind being in the car with each other. So, we just made a day of it, went up there, got some food, and came right on back. And that was, a little money in our pocket to buy some other accessories for it. But that tax is, it's brutal. Ours is only 6.75. I can't imagine other states where it's like 9 and 10% sales tax.
That's
I pity them.
In California, where you can't even drive to another state that doesn't have tax. Like driving to Oregon will take you 2 days from where I live. So it's like a 5-day trip if you're going to get somewhere with no tax. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
When I lived in Massachusetts, people would always go to New Hampshire because there was no sales tax.
Yeah, and because you could buy alcohol on Sunday.
Yes, that's
and get tattoos.
Well, clearly we're moving to Massachusetts next, so.
Massachusetts.
I love
What part of North Carolina are you in? I'm in North Carolina too.
Oh, really? We're in Greensboro.
I'm in Charlotte. Yeah.
Oh my God. I've been trying to convince Corey to move us to Charlotte for the better part of a decade now.
Oh wow.
But for some reason, he gets places and he gets attached to them. I'm like, no, I'm a nomad. Let's move, man. Like, let's pick it all up and go. I love Charlotte. So we might be neighbors soonish.
Keep talking. You'll get them here.
Speaking of convincing your husbands to do something.
So, all right, let me make that question then. What do y'all ladies do to convince your husbands to do something?
You already know what the ladies do to get their husbands to do something.
Are we talking about dongles again tonight?
Wow.
Back to dongles.
Oh my gosh, dongles.
See, Eric brought up dongles this week. They're gonna blame us, but Eric brought it up.
We have to make a list of who's the first person to say dongle on the way.
I think the chat room needs to drink every time we say dongles.
Yeah, every time somebody says dongles, we should have a drink.
Oh,
Take a drink.
from Boston.
Chat room, take a drink. And chat room, tell us what you're drinking.
Thanks, Kevin. He donated $5. He said, "What up, though? Happy holidays."
That's what I'm talking about.
Keep up
Thanks,
great work.
Kevin.
Hey, thank you.
We're supposed to drink and we get super chats too.
Oh, Jango.
Yeah.
Dilly. Dongle super chat.
Dongle super chat. Shouts out to the ladies. It's Wine Wednesday, Lady Takeover. That's how we do it every Wine Wednesday.
Eric, what are you drinking tonight?
What am I drinking?
Of course you are.
The big bottle of that.
He's in love with his bottle.
I think it stays there. I think it stays on the desk. I don't think it moves. I think that's where it lives.
Well, you know, and I was just telling the ladies offline that in this month alone, I pushed out 32 videos in 28 days. That's a lot of stuff. And shouts out to everybody that saw my interview I just did with. I tell you what, that interview was the best interview I ever did. I mean, I was stoked for V-Time. If y'all didn't see the V-Time interview, what I did with the creator of V-Time, please check it out. It's an awesome video. Man, that's awesome. But yeah, 32 videos in 28 days. Right here, I'm grinding, working hard.
You look at the wrong camera.
The wrong camera. Man, you got such a nice setup, man.
It's like you were yelling at somebody over there.
You had too much crown already, man. You gotta bring it back in.
Yeah, I know. I was like, all right, so I got three cameras, right? I got 3 cameras in front of me, and I'm trying to, do the angle thing. I got the camera here. I got the camera here, right? Now let's see if I can click. That's the camera here, right? And I got a camera. Let's see if I can click on this other camera so y'all can see that. And I have a camera back there. So there it is. I got the camera back there. So I got 3 cameras, and I try to have 3 or 4 cameras every time I do these live streams. So there it is.
Awesome. So I got so many tech. I got so much technology.
Oh boy,
I got so many things. I'm gonna say it.
What'd you get?
I'm really not trying not to brag. I'm just saying it because those are all the things I got.
We want to know what you got.
Envious. I'm envious of the TV.
So I ended up getting the motorized gimbal.
Ooh,
Awesome.
So I went for it. I got it. Then I found a 10,000 milliamp battery for just $15. So I snatched that up, and it also has quick charge too.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Then I also ended up getting, this is obviously like YouTube stuff, but I ended up getting a mount that I could put on my tripod that does fluid pans and tilt. Like I can just let it go and it'll just smooth.
Like a ball head type thing.
Yes.
For the tripod.
The hydraulics.
Nice.
It's so smooth.
Nice.
Then I also ended up getting some stands for my phone because I'm gonna start taking pictures of stuff and selling it. Well, not really selling it. I'm gonna put it on my site, and then it's gonna be like first come, first serve. As many posts as people get, then they'll get it. Stuff like that. Then I convinced my husband to get the 4K TV from Samsung.
Whoa!
The 9000 series.
Ooh.
My husband is weird because when it comes to money, I can't be, sexy. I have to be sexy in a different way. Like, we should get it, even though it's gonna touch our pocket, So what I told him, this was my very reasonable approach, I had to do a proposal and everything. And then after I did my formal proposal, then I would call him like every hour and be like, can we get it? But my formal proposal was, it would be so beneficial if we got the TV, because then we could move the 55 upstairs, and then we could put the 42 upstairs in the loft, because we have like a second living room, and put that one in the room. Also, 2 years ago, we bought a whole bunch of IKEA furniture, and the one that's missing to put together is the stand that we said when we get a 70-inch TV or bigger, we're gonna put that IKEA furniture together, and we're gonna put the TV there. So I told him we could finally get those boxes out of our room. We could get our space back. So I think that was the one that really did it the most. And then he did I'll think about it. And then I would call him every hour, like, can we get it? Can we get it? Can we get it? And then he's like, I got it. It'll be here on Monday. And I'm like, yay! So I'll show you guys the TV. It's kind of bright. I'm going to put down the brightness because when I looked at it in the camera, it was a little. So, but you guys could talk while you guys could talk.
Scrumptious, what did you get? What do you do to get goodies?
I didn't get tech stuff. I did my Christmas shopping. I got all of my Christmas shopping completed. That was my goal.
That's awesome.
So I am completely done. Everything that's left, now I can do me.
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. And all right, you got your Mac. So anything else that convincing to get that the guy that your husband got to get you between now and Christmas?
I'm easy to please. I like simple things. I don't have a big Christmas list this year at all. I think this Mac was kind of my biggest one. I have some other stuff that I want to get off the ground. And I actually had a 2009 17-inch, like when Apple first relaunched like the unibody aluminum MacBook Pro. I had one of those since 2009, fully spec'd out as well. And it was still working great. But when I got my iPad Pro, I just kind of stopped using it and wound up selling it. And then as soon as I sold it, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I've been wanting to replace it ever since then, but couldn't exactly justify it. And now that I have this, I don't know what else I'd want. He just got me that 4K display for it. We got this computer. I think I might be set. Don't listen to that, Corey. I mean, if you still want to give me some stuff, that's fine. There's nothing else on my list.
Obviously, he's listening. He listened like, thank you very much. I'm glad you brought it up.
Tiffany earrings are always appreciated. Anything in a little teal box from Tiffany is always going to be appreciated.
Well, you got your Apple AirPods. You don't need earrings.
Yeah, we won't be able to see your Tiffany earrings with the earpods.
I still have
You can see them. You can see it.
I have 10 holes in my ears. My AirPods don't block them all. So we can make it work. We can get creative.
We're covered.
Emily, what is it convincing that you could do to get some stuff for the holidays?
So my husband is pretty darn good if there is a reason other than I just want it because it's pretty. And sometimes I just want it because it's pretty works. But it's generally this is what we're talking about. This is why. What do you think? And we make those decisions together. Anything over about $1,000, we make that decision together. Anything under that, especially if I'm buying it for my business, which is normally where I'm spending money these days, is kind of a my decision or a his decision. But anything else is a us decision. The one thing we can't agree on is my new Tesla. Because that we can't come to a meeting of the minds are. So I'm listening to ways to convince the husband. I'm like, look, we're going to save all this gas money and we get all these tax credits in California. And then we get the pass on the freeway. He's like, you stopped driving the freeway as much because you work from home now. So what? I'm like, but imagine the doors go like this.
Yes.
So that's my big tech purchase that's like my goal of 2018, 19, and 2020. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
That is the goal. But I also I really want one of those wallpaper TVs, the really super flat ones. Ooh. And my husband's like, I don't understand this, but my husband's like, we don't need a bigger TV. I'm like, but I can still see wall. So we need a bigger TV.
Reviews about that wallpaper TV.
So if I can see wall, I've got room for more TV. But so on the once we go back and forth, but on the things that I'm like, no, this is like the camera. I'm like, look, this is a camera I'm going to get anyway. It's on sale on Black Friday. Let's just do it then. It doesn't take a whole lot of convincing. It's just conversation. So, but we've been together almost 20 years at this point. So I know what he is going to go for and isn't going to go for. And one of these days he's going to say yes to a wallpaper TV and yes to a Tesla. Just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I honestly, all kidding aside, Corey and I, we've also been together a very long time, 11 years since I was a teenager. We've been together a long, long time. But yeah, for the most part, we're on the same, since we're both really techie, we're on the same page about just about every purchase. And we know that we're both very responsible with money. So if we want a thing, it's a quick conversation. And for the most part, as long as it's not going to cause any financial strain or anything on the household, just go for it. So he is deciding between like the iMac Pro and getting himself a MacBook Pro in the next, like, I guess if they announce the MacBook Pro is coming for sure in December, he might be going for that. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be purchasing a MacBook Pro as well in the next week or two. So that's going to satisfy Christmas for this whole freaking household, except for the kids.
Yeah.
The adults are done.
Well, the good thing about it is that money's not an issue when you're celebrities like y'all guys, right? Hollywood celebrities here. Y'all didn't know the tech couple. They are Hollywood celebrities. All right.
I know not what you speak of.
We got Hollywood royalty in the building, right?
I have no idea what you're saying right now. No, don't do that. Eric, take it easy. Don't do that.
She's like, don't put me on blast.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't say that.
It was just one thing a while ago. That's all. Just one thing a long time ago.
Well, that was awesome. Think about it, right? I mean, that was awesome, right?
That's true.
You want to share everybody your experience.
Since Eric decided to put it on blast, sure. Corey and I were on an episode of MTV's True Life, I'm Addicted to Video Games, about my alleged video game addiction that was ruining our relationship and destroying my college career. That was a good time. that was fun.
Sounds like he's unreasonable. I hope that he's come around since then.
What's funny is the way that they tried to portray our relationship on the show, considering we met at a Halo 2 tournament in college. So they tried to make it seem like he hated video games. He hated that I was, playing them all the time. And I'm like, he's playing them with me. Like the way that they edited the footage would be like the empty couch from earlier in the day. Even though
I can't hear you.
That's an iPod.
AirPods. We can't hear you.
AirPod died.
AirPods.
Can't hear you.
Oh my goodness. AirPods.
Yep.
You wonder.
The AirPods died.
Emily said that they don't last for more than about an hour, 15, 20 minutes. So
yeah, they don't.
Done.
I mean, these streams are on. These streams are not short. And my AirPods died every single time, so I had to go to the wired. So I love my AirPods. But
she was, her conversation was great, right? I mean, she was
I love meeting the lady.
Well, that's the same thing that happened to Emily. She was in the middle of a good story, and it just died.
And then it took me a minute to figure it out, and I was like, "What's happening? I'm on a roll." Yes.
She's still talking.
Oh wait, there you are. There you are.
Oh, there we are. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
My AirPods connected to something else all of a sudden.
Oh, dang.
Technical difficulties. But no, I don't know the last thing you heard me say. I'm trying to remember the last thing I heard you guys say. So I know
empty couch, empty couch, and then they panned away. And
Yeah.
MTV was, yes.
No, okay. So he was sitting on one couch. I'm sitting on the other, and we were playing like Halo or Call of Duty together, mind you. But in the creative editing, when it played on TV,
You were by yourself.
showed me playing by myself and him off somewhere like cooking or cleaning. Make it seem like I was just this disrespectful, lazy, do nothing, know nothing girlfriend. Like it was. There was a lot. I feel like MTV would probably sue me if I said all the things that they changed in that episode.
How many years ago was it?
That was, oh God, when did 2010 is when it aired. So it's been a while.
Oh, you're probably clear past your NDA. I wouldn't work that.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, they changed stuff. And what's funny is that everybody who probably watched that was like, I wish my girlfriend played Call of Duty.
Oh no, it's so funny. It's so funny. And it's what made me learn to just say screw what people say on the internet, because you have all the girls over there calling me a lazy, good for nothing nobody who didn't deserve a boyfriend. And all the guys were like, oh my God, I wish my girlfriend would play video games. So it's like just split 50-50. I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. Like we play together. And they did so much editing. Like even beyond the editing, they legit had us do things that never happened. So I was an honor student, like in the honors program, even though they tried to make it seem like I was flunking out of school because of video games. And I had straight A's that semester. So I was exempt from all my finals, but excuse me, I was exempt from all my finals, but they made me pretend like I was getting dressed for finals, walk downstairs to my car, pull out of my parking space, walk back upstairs to our apartment, and then fall out on the couch like I was just so exhausted from finals that I never had in the first place. I'm like,
that's Hollywood.
In the world.
That's Hollywood.
Yeah, no, the production process was crazy. It went on for God. We filmed for like 4.5, 5 months for what amounted to 22 minutes worth of that episode. So they could manipulate, like imagine if somebody filmed you for 5 months. They could tell any story with your life that they want to tell. They could make it seem like, you know, that one time that you rubbed your nose, they're going to loop that the whole time and make it seem like you're a booger eater or something. Like, manipulate the footage.
That's so true. I remember in the real world.
Yes.
There were so many times where you would see someone say something and they would have different shirts. And they were talking about the same story. Ever since then, I never believed what they would edit. Unless that person said it with the same time we're on the same clothes and didn't have like their hair different or whatever. Then who knows if they really said it? Like maybe they could have been talking about something else.
Yeah, you can put bits and pieces of everything together.
Stuff gets crazy.
No, literally, anytime that you see someone sitting and talking to the camera, excuse me, it's because a producer is sitting on the other side feeding them what they want you to say. So like they'll ask you extremely leading questions. Like for example, right, but like literally a week before the episode aired, the producer came back to us and was like, hey, so there's some things that we recorded you saying, but the mic didn't quite pick you up and it wasn't quite clear. So I'm just gonna read you the question and you just say it back to me. I'm like, okay. He's like, you know, this is definitely stuff that you said. We just need you to say it again. And they had me go through like 3 or 4 wardrobe, makeup, and hair changes like in the same day and read back all these things. I'm like, I know for sure I never said this. I'm like, I know this never came up. Like they made me say a comment about how games were affecting me in school. They made Corey say a comment about video games are going to end our relationship. I'm like, he plays more than I do. Like, what are you talking about?
That goes to show you how fake those be. They be really fake.
It's so fake. I've only ever seen the episode once. Like, the only thing that's real about it is the premise that, yes, I play a crap ton of video games and Corey and I are in a relationship. The end.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Because I you know what? I actually talked to another actor that was on the show, and they say the same thing. They said like everything is pre-planned. all the stuff that happened is drama. It's just all type of drama. It's all negativity. So yeah, when I hear that about these shows, these reality shows, I know they all fake.
Yeah. Well, that's the job. I mean, that's the job of the producers. And I live in LA, and I have friends who work on shows, the big shows, and the producers are sitting there, especially in the face-to-face, going, well, so-and-so said this. Did you know that? What do you think about that? And what do you think? They're saying this about you, and they're feeding into that situation and into that, especially in like the Real Housewife type shows and like those multicast shows. They feed into that drama because that's what people watch. If we stopped watching it, they would probably stop doing it and just go back to shows back. I love pop culture. We're gonna take a minute, but back to shows like The Osbournes, where they literally just put cameras and crews in a house and followed people around. That was before you really got producers in moving around the pieces of the show, like Nick and Jessica. You didn't have producers really directing that show. They just had more documentary style cameras on a couple following them around through their life. And then the shows started to change and morph, and they, started, ratings, Big House production says. So the reality TV scene kind of started to change with shows like The Real World, and they started to have, my cat's knocking stuff over. They started to have plot lines and storylines, and this person fits this casting bubble and this person fits this casting bubble. So if you're like the drunk crazy one, all the times you're not being the drunk crazy one, you're not on screen because that's not your storyline in the show. So they really start putting people into character, and then they become these like non-scripted shows. They're not even really reality TV anymore. They're just non-scripted.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this. What do we got going on, Catwoman? I see you got this 4K TV sitting up there.
Yeah, we're ready to see this TV.
And what's going on with this TV we got sitting up here? I see you kind of fiddle-dally with the settings.
Oh my God.
Questions.
Okay, so let me tell you the only thing that I don't like, that I'm upset with, but I'm also upset that I like it.
Why aren't you on your channel right now? Huh? You're not even on your channel right now. Why? Sorry, Easy. I love you.
Over to my No 8 camera. Okay, so if you look at the TV, it has a little microphone right there, right? Yeah. I didn't know a game with a microphone. I didn't want a TV with a microphone. So this is the remote control. I don't know if you can see it. Well, actually, you can't. Okay, here's the remote control, and then the microphone is right here. So I tape it up when I'm not using it because as paranoid, there's the box. Because I don't like to throw away the box for 30 days. So, this is my setup here. And then there's a TV.
That's a big old TV. Is that a 60?
It's good.
75.
That's a 75. Jeez.
Oh, I'm so glad CJ isn't listening right now. He's been trying to convince me to upgrade from like the 55 that we have to something bigger. I'm like, No.
Oh, I want a 75 so bad. A 75 on my wall. A 75 would go like end to end. Yeah. Oh my God, it would be immersive in my 900 square foot house to have a 75-inch TV. It would be awesome. It'd be all you would see.
Believe it or not, it's a man's dream to have a 75-inch TV.
Yeah. My games would look so good on a 75-inch TV.
I made my husband play a video game. And he's like, I don't want to play a video game. And I'm like, you have to, because I suck. When we play Halo, I stay behind and I watch him play. So when he respawns, he could respawn next to me and then keep playing. That's the extent.
No, what you have to do is let him put you through like a Halo boot camp. Play through the campaign on like easy. Thank you, sweetie. Play through the campaign on like easy.
Oh,
you can get used to.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. Wait a minute. Huh? Wait. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Service.
Yeah. Service.
You know how we get down.
I'm over here making my own refills.
I didn't want to have to go blank on the camera and somebody say that it's because of my MacBook or something. So I was like, no, baby, I need a refill, please and thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh my!
So I'm gonna go stand in front of the TV so you can see how big it is. I mean, like you can see it, but obviously, like the clarity and stuff. Yeah. All right, cool. I'm gonna
put it up.
You need to move it over a little bit.
Move it up. Move over a little bit. Bit.
Like
no, the other way.
Like that?
Yeah.
Right,
that's
good.
perfect.
All right, okay. I'm gonna go stand next to it.
Huge TV. That's awesome. God, yeah, that's huge. Holy moly. Jeez. Yes. Oh, that. Wait, I got to go talk to my Oracle because I want a 70-inch now. I want one now.
Oh man, CJ's not gonna let me live this down. No,
Look at that.
CJ wants a TV that's like ignorantly big, and I feel like
that is
that's
huge.
not even big enough for him. Dang it.
Wow. So right now it's on top of a hutch.
Before next Christmas.
So it's like up high, like if you're in a movie theater, you're sitting right up closer. But we're gonna mount it to the TV soon. I mean to the wall. Soon.
That is huge. That is huge. Oh my goodness, that was huge. Like on camera, it don't look that big, right?
Right, but when she went and stood next to it, oh my God.
It's a monster. It can eat me.
It's like if she laid across the hut, she would be as long as the TV was.
Yeah, it's 66
I need that TV.
inches lengthwise, like that way. It's 66, but obviously it's 75 that way.
Oh, you know what? I need that TV.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's what's the name branded at?
It's Samsung, the 9000 series.
Ooh,
you got a Sammy.
You got a Sammy.
That's
I
Yeah,
love
so
the microphone.
Like when I turned it on, it found my phone, and it's like, "You want to connect?" And then I connected, and then it set up everything. The Wi-Fi was connected. I didn't need to put in the password. Done. Boom. The end.
That's cool.
That's
I'm
cool.
a switch.
Somebody in the stream wants to know how much you paid for it.
No, wait. That's
Black Friday. Wait. I want to know if you
Friday.
waited in line for it. Like, was that a doorbuster deal that you had to go do, or could you do that online?
No, I didn't have to wait in line.
That's the top of the line 9,000
So
series.
we got it. We got it off of Best Buy. It was on sale for $2,279, something like that. Then of course taxes, and then we paid the 2-year warranty. I can't math.
$3,000.
Yeah, a
$3,000.
little over that. Yeah, somewhere
about
around there.
$3,000. Yeah, because once you add tax to it, I mean, you got. Be honest. I mean, a lot of people say I paid $2,200 for it. No, you didn't.
I know. you gotta pay for that warranty.
Yeah. Just like with the iPhone, $999. Come on now, you ain't paid $900. You paid about $1,100.
And you know everybody's getting the bigger hard drive, so that one's what, $1,200.
Was more, and then you get the Apple Care because you need the Apple Care.
Exactly.
So, but the thing is, people aren't. I mean, we are, but most people aren't even looking at the cost of the phone. They're looking at the monthly rate. They're like, how much am I paying for this phone per month for the year, and then I'm going to trade it in. They're like, oh, $40 a month, $50 a month, whatevs. And that's what people are doing.
Hey, but Emily, you know what I thought about this? Everybody with all this complaining about the iPhone 10. You know what? I thought about this. Don't you know that the iPhone 10 is an instant collector's item? Because of the lifestyle. I mean, this is all new. I mean, just like the original iPhone. Think about the iPhone, the original. If you had the original iPhone, how much you think it could cost on a black market if it was in mint condition?
It depends on the box. It boxed. It would boxed and sealed. It would go for a lot. Yeah, boxed and sealed.
Think about this. Think about this. If you had the original Atari in the box with the original joysticks, could you imagine how much this cost? So I say this to say that the iPhone 10 in 20 years, 10 years, would be that $1,000 would triple itself, quadruple itself easily. Yeah, because it's the first refresh. Right?
I want to keep this one. I have my original iPhone and I love this. This reminds me of the original iPhone, and I probably will keep it for that reason. But I'm that nerd that has all my iPhone boxes from my old iPhones. And when I get my office, when we get an office set up, there will be a row of Apple product boxes right behind me because I have all of those 10 boxes and I love them. They're gorgeous.
Yes.
It's like the story of iPhones.
One thing we didn't do, Tech Valor, is we didn't answer none of these questions. I know we got all these people putting stuff in there. So let's go and get to the extreme. Yeah, everybody likes about the TV. So let's get into the stream.
The Tech Vault says playing video games on a 75-inch is taking it to a whole new level. Link in bio, please. And strong typing. I was reading that to say playing video games on a 75-inch is like taking a whole new level. So I misread it. So I thought it was the greatest compliment ever.
I think the stream is drinking too.
They are.
Yes.
So questions that people have.
Yes, questions.
No, that comment about the warranty not covering broken screens on TVs, we learned that the hard way. Our then, I guess he's still 3 now, our 3-year-old had a little fit earlier this year and had a toy car, and I told him to sit down, and he went, and tossed the toy car right at our former mounted on the wall Samsung in the living room. What? We had only had it for like 6 months, and it was like a dagger to the heart. I was like, do we really want to keep him? Like, do we like him enough to keep this child? I was like a split second where I'm like, he's not our baby anymore. He can go live with someone else. It was a fun run. But yeah, no, it was, we definitely learned it the hard way that warranties don't cover it and you can't fix a cracked LED screen. They wanted the same amount that we paid for it to fix the screen, since all of the value is in the cost of the LED itself. So yeah, the kids now have that broken TV in their room, and we got a new one. But I imagine after all this 75-inch talk that CJ is going to be trying to convince me to go for something bigger. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Size matters.
Trust me, after this stream, I'm going to talk to the Oracle, right?
Oh boy,
convincing things. I guess I got to get a lot of this and make sure that I can try to see if I can convince the Oracle for a 75-inch.
Well,
so
you know, those you gotta wait because
the
Super Bowl deals are going to come up, right? All the TVs that go on sale right before the Super Bowl. So now you got to hold on until right before Super Bowl to get those TVs.
Yeah. That's true. That is true.
So
you were saying something scrumptious?
I said you got to break out the Incredible Hulk tonight. You trying to get that TV?
Oh, you mean the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, a Hulk. Yeah, Incredible Hulk.
A Hulk.
Okay,
Hulk was a messy night.
Fox Mamba said 4K is not needed just yet. A lot of people don't have the bandwidth on YouTube just yet, so 1080p is still great. That is true, but I have CenturyLink and I have 1 gig speed of internet, so I do have the bandwidth. And also I have DirecTV, so the farthest that they could go is 1080p, and that's whack. But I put up the YouTube app and I have so many videos on 4K, and there's obviously the HDR on there. So there is some 4K content out there, but the good thing about 1080p content is that it looks so good. I can see how bad people's makeup was actually really done, or it's melting. Oh, I love the documentary effect. It gives me so much light. And so I can't see far away. So what I love about this TV is that I don't have to wear my glasses to watch it because it's so clear. I can still see and understand what's going on. So
that's a selling feature right there.
Yeah, it's like you don't need your glasses. Just
see, that's what I love about ours. We have a similar TV, I guess, kind of maybe last year's model of your TV, a little bit smaller. The 4K HDR, like it's night and day. We also have gigabit internet with AT&T, and we use DirecTV now. So very, very similar setup. And yeah, a lot of people, there is a lot of good 4K content on YouTube that we watch. And because we have the 4K Apple TV as well, all of our movies, well, not all of them, but a lot of the movies that we own also got the 4K bump that we can sit here and appreciate on the TV. So, I mean, not everybody has it, but if you can afford it and if you really appreciate that super clear image quality, why not?
Now, Tech for your needs. Tech for your needs brought up Netflix 4K. Are any of you guys rocking Netflix 4K on your TVs yet?
Yeah, my TV's on it.
Gorgeous, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Stranger Things.
And then also you could just torrent as well 4K. videos. And then you could either watch it via USB, or I just cast it from my phone because it has the mirror, Samsung mirror, and it's just perfect.
But then it's in Russian.
No. Wait, sometimes it's in Chinese.
Jeez. You're like, Mike, we're learning a different language over here.
Exactly.
It's educational.
Multilingual.
Off of that $5 5-hand discount.
Well,
finger discount.
5-finger discount.
Look, they gave you a good segue, Tech Valor, to bring up the story that your husband wanted us to talk about.
Oh my God. I got rid of the article.
I still have it. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay. I was going to we were talking about it earlier.
So my oracle is in the building. I don't know if y'all seen the comment. And she said, I got to get a TV for the store first because when I say 75-inch TV, she been telling me about the TV we got to get for one of our stores. So we got to get that first, and then I can get a 75-inch. That's no problem. Like
at least she didn't say no.
I know she didn't say no.
There you go. She said
better than no.
Order of importance.
Yes. So I want to say everybody in the building say, "Hey, Oracle."
Hey, Oracle.
There she go, Dola Cake Studio.
Yeah. So now it's time to get those TVs for the stores.
Ooh.
It's time to get moving.
Yes. Let's see. Hey, Eric, donate one of the house TVs to the store. You know what? That's right. That might win all, but that 75-inch. Now let me tell you something. My Oracle probably want the 75-inch TV more than I do. Trust me. So yes, but shouts out to all the ladies in the building. Shouts out to everybody in the building. I see Ray is in the building. BG Tech Life is in the building. Everybody say hey, Oracle. With Old Tech Time is in the building. Well, we got heavy hitters. All heavy hitters in the building. We got an article popped up. There we go. What's that?
Oh, the article? Okay,
no,
but first let me... Oh, yeah. So this is the article. Before I read the article, let me just go down here. Okay. So we got BG Tech Life, Big House Productions, Carl Jones, CJ3K, Dexter Cumberbatch, and DVZN Media just came in. Obviously easy. Emily, Innate, Forbes, Fox Mamba, Gary, Nola Cake Studio, Old Tech Time, Ray 2, Scrunches, Tech for Your Needs, Technically T, Tech Couple, Udo Nice, Zenigma. Yay! We got a lot of people in here.
Chat roll.
This article that my husband said called "The World's First Smart Condom Collects Intimate Data During Sex and Tells Men Whether Their Performance is Red Hot or a Total Flop." Okay, so it's
I feel like women are capable of telling men.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't want to tell them. We don't want to hurt feelings all the time.
Exactly. I would particularly not like this because then the condom is going to tell you.
It's a snitch.
It's a snitch. It's going to tell you when you're faking it. Come on, man. We don't want it. I don't.
How is it? Is it battery powered?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Is that safe?
We don't know. So the British company has released the first picture of a smart condom. So it's a condom, and it has like little nano feeling things here, and then it's connected to this little Bluetooth thing.
But where's that go?
Huh? That just goes on your wristband. It's not small enough. It's not small enough to be a cock ring. So you just turn it on as a bracelet to turn it on when you're doing it. So that way you don't have to, it's already too much when you have to put on the condom to stop doing what you're doing to get protected. So this, you put the bracelet on so that you'll make sure it's turned on. Like it'll tell you when it's on while it's working.
Okay.
And then
that's a lot of work.
Look, I told her when she shared this article with me, I said it reminded me of the Dick Fitbit. Did y'all ever hear about that?
Yeah.
No. That was a bracelet, right? That does not look like a bracelet.
No, that definitely looks like something else.
Oh snap! Look how little it is. Okay, maybe it is a cock
Unless
ring.
you're supposed to put it on your kids. I mean,
What?
that is a outside
Oh no! Oh no! But I don't know. Okay, so all right, now I need to show my face because I need to show my facial reaction. How
Apple Watch for the dongle.
Would be like, well, not me obviously because I don't have one. But the guy would put on the condom, then he'd have to put on the ring, and then he'd have to beep boop pop boop on his penis.
The
Making
moment's
sure
gone.
it's configured.
The moment's
Gary
gone.
Brown says it'll shock your nuts.
Doing a rock.
That's a concern.
That's
But then you're putting it in the
else.
wrong place. I'm teasing.
So wait a minute, you gotta do all that before you even get started.
That's too much.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that would take it away.
No, that's way too much.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of work that
Mhm.
doesn't need to be involved. Not
Well,
to
and
mention,
the snitching part of it. You know?
yeah, true.
But you have to wonder what are the lengths a guy will go to try to find out if he's really good and not take a woman's word for it. Like they must not care about having hurt feelings whatsoever. Because what if the woman does say, yeah, you know what, I faked it last night, but you said
Right.
that was the best time ever. It's like, yeah, but then I was thinking about how I needed to work in the morning. and-
Check with TP wants to know if it's fast charging.
Is it fast charging? Probably not. Most likely not.
I like that the condom thinks it can boil down female pleasure into like an app. I think that it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
I mean, from my experience being a woman.
Yeah.
I think it's probably
we are
going
leads
complex.
up to it. Because
We're
sometimes
complex.
foreplay is not actual touching. Sometimes foreplay is
Doing the dishes.
yes.
Yes.
Oh my god. That is like the ultimate foreplay. Or cooking a meal beforehand.
Yeah, wash some dishes.
Cook a meal
dinner.
and clean it up.
Give the
Cook
babies
dinner
a
and
bath.
clean it
Or
up.
showing your wife the confirmed order of the 4K TV you bought her.
Ultimate.
But it's weird that
ultimate
technology
foreplay.
is taking this turn into your bedroom now versus just being like the TV or the gaming system.
Yeah.
It's stepping in your bed now. Like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I know. It's so
I mean, it
creepy.
has been though with like
It
the
has
sleeping
been.
apps and the snoring apps, and I have a Beddit on my bed that tracks sleep, and I love that. But I think the tech in sex is definitely going to start changing. I mean, it's definitely been there, right? But it's going to start changing. I just didn't see the condom angle. I was thinking more of the robots, more than I was thinking
Like nano
sex
one?
condoms. Yeah, no, like sex robots.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like when I think of sex and tech, that's the direction my mind goes. Is there's going to be like, can you prosecute people for prostitution if they're not people?
If they're not people.
Well,
that
there's
are
actually,
Yeah, because you got those robots that are people now, right?
right, but well, yeah, only in South Africa was it that the robot had citizenship, right?
Oh, Saudi Arabia.
no,
Saudi Arabia. So if you don't let them be citizens, they don't count as people for criminal laws. So
Oh my God, the civil
They could be
rights movement of robots.
prostituted sex robots.
So wait, did they have a movie called? Remember, Demolition Man? What's that Demolition Man when he came back and he tried to have sex and they had to put the little thing on his head and there was new laws that they couldn't touch each other and stuff. And what that was, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Demolition Man. He had to put the thing on his head in order for them to have sex.
Yeah, they didn't physically touch anymore, right?
Yeah, they didn't, right, because they couldn't touch each other anymore.
So like virtual reality.
You're right, it was virtual reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a comment here. Where'd it go?
Yes. Fox
Okay, it
Mulder.
says Enigma. He said, how about a condom that detects VD, venereal diseases? That's what I could get.
That's more practical.
Yeah.
But I thought they were talking about like some college students were working on something like that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I think they were. I read something about that like a year or two ago. They are.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know whatever happened with that, but
Hey,
That makes more
imagine
sense.
my person that doesn't like the word sexting. I when they came up with that word, I'm like, why did they come up with that word? Like, there was already a word before that, and it was perfect.
Catwoman doesn't like words. She
What's
doesn't
the word
like
before
language.
that? What did we call it before?
Cybering.
Sexting.
You don't like
sounds
sexting?
More inappropriate than sexting to me. Cyber,
Yeah.
like that. That feels really dirty. Not like sexy dirty. It's like online perv that sent you an undesired dick pic dirty. Like
sexting because it has that hard X. And
wait. Somebody got to read Gary Brown's email right here. What do you say? What did Gary Brown say?
What do you say?
I want a robot with 3 titties.
Okay. Gary, I bet you can customize your robot, baby. I bet you can.
You could. It doesn't have to look human.
When you see Gary's name pop up, you just know something's inappropriate gonna be there.
Oh wait, but I don't mean you could get an animal robot. Like it could look like an alien. Damn.
I mean,
oh my goodness.
Oh, Tech Time likes sexting. It's natural.
Sextington.
Sexington. But does Sexington mean sexting?
It's like,
I guess that's his new word.
To where everybody's Sextington.
Okay.
It's been in Donald.
Yes.
Have we been demonetized yet?
Oh yeah, right there. But I'm gonna tell you, what's so funny? My Wine Wednesday, as raw as we get up in here, don't get demonetized.
I love it.
But I could drop a video tomorrow, and it could be clean as a whistle, and it get demonetized. But we'll sit up here and talk dongles and stuff all night long.
I think
YouTube loves it. Advertisers love it.
YouTube likes the real talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the chat room interaction makes YouTube believe that it's legit.
Yeah. So there, Junior, you happy? We talked about it. The end. But you didn't go the way
it's crazy though. I'm not. I mean, that's not what I want to see. Tech. I don't know. I guess somebody thought it was a good idea, but
I don't want tech that intimately in my bedroom. Like the sleep tracking, that's fine.
Yeah.
But see what? Here's the thing. It's coming. Think about it. All right. So I had the interview with V-Time yesterday. That's what they're trying to do. It's a social network, right? I mean, it's virtual reality. You interact with people. You're talking to people and stuff like that, right? I mean, we're going to that direction. It's happening.
Have you guys read Ready Player One? My favorite book ever.
But the movie's coming out. I saw it.
The movie's coming out.
I saw the movie.
It's amazing, and the Audible version is really well done. It's performed by Will Wheaton, and it's fantastic. But the world has pretty much crumbled. We've destroyed it, and people live in houses with 15, 16 people in them because of a national poverty endemic. But everyone lives really vibrant lives in somewhere called the Oasis, which is a virtual reality world. And they have jobs in there. They have spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, and you are who you want to be. But you live in this virtual reality world. You work in the virtual reality world. It's like, Avatar meets the Matrix. It's crazy, but it's where we're going, definitely, with this virtual reality world. It's like our online life, right? When we first started online, when you guys started making friends on the internet, it's like it's going there. You're going to now have your VR friends, and you can go all sit on a couch together and watch a movie in VR.
Right. And the thing about it is, even with I keep on bringing back Demolition Man. I mean, if that movie was like, in the future, and it was all about VR. It was all about having sex in VR. It was all about robots. It was, stuff like that. Even though it was a good movie, but it kind of reminds you of some of the stuff that's happening today.
Yeah.
They got another movie that if I'm not mistaken, like RoboCop, right? Remember that? Going into the future and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, all this type of stuff. This stuff is coming true, like really coming true.
Well, the people who are making the tech now grew up watching those movies.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who are driving the tech grew up with those movies, and that was their image of the future, and now they're building it.
It's life crazy. Imitating art.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
We saw his hand.
Did we get a refill?
You get it.
Is he also doing the dishes?
Yes, he does good by me. He is, I wouldn't say trained because he's not a dog, but he's also an adult that contributes to the household, unlike some other people's husbands, from what I've heard. He's a good one. I'm lucky.
Yes.
That's
awesome. That's awesome. You know what? I hear all the good stories about husbands and wives and stuff like that. So that's always good. You know, to have a companion, you have to share the same spirit. You know, you have to have, you got to give up some stuff, like, I mean, when you're a bachelor, you do certain things, you go out, party a lot. Then when you get married, you can't do the same thing that you used to do, it's all about compromises, and so a lot of guys that get married, they learn to compromise, especially this old saying is happy wife, happy life, happy house, happy life, and all that stuff. That's true.
And all the scientific studies show that married men live longer because we make y'all go to the doctor.
Yeah.
We make you go get things checked out. No, it's not normal to cough like that for 3 weeks. Thank you, sweetheart. Yes, you should go get that weird thing looked at. We want you to stay alive, so we encourage it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have a story to tell.
I don't know. He and I, we're just, people ask us about our relationship a lot, like a lot, because we both work from home. We both have a lot of the same interests. We have the same circles of friends. We're together 98% of the time. If you see one of us, you're going to see the other one of us too. And people think that's so weird. They're like, you don't get tired of each other? You're not sick of each other? I'm like, no, not really. I actually married someone that I like. So I want to spend time with him. We enjoy being around each other. And I definitely agree about it being, kind of a give and take. And sometimes you do have to compromise, but that's being an adult. You know what I mean? Where you're trying to build a life together. You're trying to make this last literally until death. So you're going to have to give sometimes. You're going to have to compromise, and you're going to have to give up on some things that you thought you really wanted, like that 75-inch TV, Corey, and just accept what you have. I mean, but it's beautiful being able to actually give yourself completely to someone else and trust them with yourself and build something greater than either of you. It's worth it. It's worth way more than what you lose in any compromise, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you know what? Me and my uncle would be the same way. We leave together. We go to the shop together. We work together. We come home at the same time. We stuff. So exactly the same type of situation. This me and my wife, we do the same thing because we go to the business together. And we sit down and we make decisions together. All kinds of things dealing with the business, and we come home together and we have fun. So we kind of be together 98% of the time also. So I do agree. You do have to have that compassionate love for somebody to be with them almost all day, every day. And it's a good thing, sometimes, it's a lot of people do ask you the question, how could you be with that person? Then why marry him if you can't? Even like, it's like, that's confusing to ask that question. But I do understand that people sometimes do say, I can't, oh Lord, I could do that. And I'm like, well, why you got married?
So I do on the legal-ish side of things, I do a lot of pre-divorce strategy, mostly for women because that's who resonates with me. But I do a lot of pre-divorce strategy. And the one thing I see across the board is that the couples or the women that I'm working with do not make decisions with their partner. Like the relationship is just not to a point where they are partners in decision making. And that's one of the key things I see, where couples who are happy and feel like they have a partner in their life are in it for the long haul, because even with the ups and downs, you're still making those decisions about the relationship together. And it's not always perfect and it's not always easy, but if you're making those decisions together, you're a team. Once you're not on the same team and you're not in those decisions, it's rough. But the things I see, I mean, my husband and I met when I was 19. So it's, my adult relationship. This is what I know is what we've created. But I see relationships where women don't have their bank account info, don't know the passwords to the bank accounts, don't know how to get into their own email, don't know how much money their spouse makes, don't know what the savings for retirement looks like, don't know where their health insurance is, because their husband takes care of those things and they take care of these things. And it's not just women. I know men who are the same way, who can't get into their accounts and don't know because they're not making those decisions together. And that's where there's a problem.
Yeah.
And a lot of people with hidden accounts, of hidden accounts. Hidden accounts are kind of trouble.
I want to give a shout out to Tells B. He said, hang on a second. Hold on. I got to go back up. He said, well, I'm in an old fashioned marriage. I just give her whatever she says so I can watch 3 streams a week. And yes, I do 3 streams. Shout out to Tells B.
Hey, that's a decision you made together. You decided to give her what she wants. She lets you watch your streams. Decisions together.
Right there.
So wait, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, since I'm the only guy here on this stream here, right? But what about us guys? Why y'all don't give us whatever we want?
Because y'all don't know how to act.
Look at everybody get quiet.
She said y'all don't know how to act. Go.
Y'all don't know how to act when you get whatever you want.
Well, no, see,
because I'm the only single female on the stream, so
see,
I've been married before.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm sorry was the right response. It was an instinct.
No, it was a blessing.
Well, it goes like that too. But no, I think that with us, we kind of just have a mutual respect for each other. And we know that we're both responsible. We're not going to do anything that's going to, we're not going to go buy a MacBook Pro and then not be able to afford paying for our home or our car the next month. Yeah. We know that when we make those kinds of decisions, they're well thought out. They're going to be paid for. And we're both able, for the most part, even beyond financial things, we're both able to do what we want to do within reason. Oh, he really wants this TV. This is ridiculous.
I like that.
I want that TV so bad.
That's awesome.
You might have to give the man a TV. What's the downside of the TV?
I mean, he's giving me drinks like he's trying to get something else tonight. But no,
and that happens after this show too.
I'm just saying, with all these drinks, yeah. But no, I mean, for us, it really is just about having that mutual level of respect. Just like you, Emily, we've been together since I was 19. And this is, like you said, this is my adult relationship. This is what I've kind of grown up knowing. And it's been kind of a beautiful thing for us to grow up and experience all of these life things together in this union. And it just made our bond that much stronger. Like you said, no relationship is perfect. No matter how compatible you are, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be days when you want to shoot each other, but you push through, and it just makes you that much stronger in the end. And as far as him getting what he wants, I don't really think, other than the TV, that there's anything that he wants right now that he doesn't have, because we respect each other, we communicate those needs. And if there's something that I know is his heart's desire, and I know he really genuinely wants it, it's going to contribute to business or something, or just his happiness in general, he can have it. You know what I mean? If we can afford it, if we can make it happen, then we're going to make it happen for each other. And I think for us, that's just kind of been the secret sauce to maintaining domestic tranquility, as we like to call it.
Yeah, I don't really say no to things with my husband. Occasionally I'll say, no, you don't need to go get up on that ladder right now and do that thing. But as for stuff we want or things we want to do, it's a give and take. If my husband's like, hey, I want to go to this lecture on this obscure thing for work that I love. Yeah, if we can make it work, we'll make it work. We're going to say yes. So yeah, it's both of us pretty much try to say yes whenever we can. And if we have a concern, the concern comes up, but it's not an immediate, no, you're not doing that. But I have girlfriends whose husbands spend money like they're drunk all the time. So then the no has to come in, because otherwise they would spend all the money and there would be no money for a car or for the insurance or whatever. And then, women have to say no because somebody's not being responsible.
I like to say no so that I could get it for him. It's like, now I know what he wants. No, you can't have it.
I wish. No, if he has the money for it and he's like, hey, I saw this thing I want. I'm like, oh, that looks so dope. Okay, great. I bought it already. I'm like, dude, you have to let me buy you stuff. Like,
you can just
once in a while,
and buy
more than socks. Like, you have to let me buy you something.
So the truth of reality is that the ladies, the wives, wants to know what the guys want, right? Because we like puppies, right? Ooh, baby, I like that phone, I like that TV, I want this for my man cave. So the ladies and my wife do this too. She like to surprise me because she know what I want. I like gadgets. She already know. I like tech toys. So when I ask for something, I always talk about something. I may want this, I may want that. She like to surprise me. So that's always a good thing. So fellas, y'all hearing it from the ladies, right? If y'all want something, just kind of ease on in it, right? And
does anybody know about the love languages?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, my love language is gifts. Like, that is just my love language. Whether I make something or I buy something, it's always like, for me, that's just the ultimate way that I show my love. So I really do say no to him just so that I could get it for him because I do not know what he wants. Like, for example,
I love it.
He wanted a toy that had a motor, like those cat pickup things that picks up dirt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got it for him. Just because he mentioned it one day, and I'm like, oh my god, how much is it? And then I got it for him. Like that. Like I think when your love language is gifts, you also like to get gifts too. But just the look in the person's eyes when they open something up or they realize that you got something for them, whether it's like made or you just swiped it with your card and got it. It's just, I don't know. It's just something about it that's just so.
So we got a good question in here. We got a question in here. We have a big question in it.
What's up?
It kills me how these people out there with household incomes with 80 to 100,000 plus have financial issues. Now, that could be subjective, but I can answer that question. But what y'all ladies think about that question? If you got a household income of $80,000 to $100,000, why do you have financial issues?
If you live in Los Angeles, and have 2 kids, your rent, your housing is going to be about $4,000 a month or more, maybe 3 if you're lucky, but $3,000 to $4,000 a month in housing. Then you've got health insurance. You are in Los Angeles, so you have to drive everywhere. So you have 2 car payments, 2 car insurances. I mean, it depends. It really depends on where you live. Mm-hmm. But I think also people don't always plan. I am sometimes definitely guilty of that. And then when things come up, you get caught. I mean, I've had friends who make good incomes get caught by a car accident that had injuries and have the medical bills lay them out for years.
Yeah. So he only paid 2/3. Like mine is 2/3 of
circumstance.
Gone. And yours
circumstance can really throw people off.
It can. I definitely agree with Emily that it depends on your location, because 80 to 100,000 where we live in North Carolina is good money for a household. Yeah. You can get a 1,500 square foot 3-bedroom apartment here for $1,000, and that's not happening in other places in the country. So $100,000, it really depends on where you live, but it also, like Emily said, it depends on your circumstance, because even if you are making it just barely, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and it's kind of, you're making ends meet, but you don't have anything left over, you're one accident away, one loss of a job away, from, you're a paycheck away from being homeless at any given point. And I think that with people, especially in relationships that have, that kind of income, it can just come down to poor financial planning, not having an emergency fund of, 6 months to a year kind of stashed away so that God forbid something happens, and stuff happens all the time. Anything can happen on some random idle Tuesday afternoon. It can be a car accident. It can be a death in the family, and you have to plan a funeral. It can be all kinds of things. And if you're not planning ahead for those unexpected things, you can find yourself in financial ruin like that. Also, for us, I guess, millennials, if you want to call us that, as we have been labeled many times, we have like crippling student loan debt, and aren't able to find jobs in the fields that they promised us needed all these jobs when they made us go to college. You know, I have a good job, but it doesn't have anything to do with what I went to college for. And I'm still having to pay back an ungodly amount in loans, an embarrassingly large amount in loans. And, you know, there's just a lot of things, at least in my generation, that are really difficult, even with incomes that high, having to pay back $600-700 in student loans on top of, you know, daycare for 2 kids to be able to go to jobs to pay for those student loans, and the car. We work from home, but we still need a car. So, you know, the car payment, the insurance, you know, it adds up. So 80 to 100,000 may seem like a lot on the surface, but when you start to become an established family with, you know, credit card bills, daycare, rent, mortgage, your car payment, your car insurance, there's a lot that goes into it, and that can get eaten up real quick.
Yeah, I think you can't judge anyone until they start digging in your pockets. Now, if they're making good money and then they're asking you, can you loan me $100? You gotta be like, am I really gonna be helping this person, or am I just being a crutch for them? But you really can't judge anyone if they're making a certain kind of money and they're just barely making ends meet, because you just can't. You just should never.
Well,
no, we touched on.
Go ahead, Miss Emily.
We touched on student loans are something that I scream about all the time, because my husband and I have way too many degrees between the two of us, and I had over 150,000 in student loans. I mean, there's my freaking Tesla right there. Plus some, like the good one with the crazy engine. But it's the societal push, I think, is changing now, because go to college is not what I'm teaching my kids. I'm like, explore, learn. You want to figure it out? Let's watch it on YouTube. Go to college is not what I'm teaching my kids. But when we were growing up, the driving force was go to college, get a job that pays you well, stay at that company. They'll provide you health insurance. They'll provide you what you need. But that's not what happened. I mean, I came out of law school during a hiring crisis. It's worse now for people coming out. I would tell people not to go to professional school every day of the week now, because it's just, you're not getting that return on investment when you can go do this online. I mean, if you go to Fiverr, you can find somebody on Fiverr to write you a contract for, you know, $10. Why would you pay a lawyer, you know, $5,000 for it when you can get it done elsewhere? So
sorry. On Fiverr writing those kinds of things.
No, do it. No, don't apologize. Do it. I think the industries that are promoting people, like, if you get this degree, you're going to get this awesome job, are doing people a disservice, because the kids I talk to coming out of law school get hired for contract work on a law firm. So they get hired for 6 months. They don't have benefits. They don't have a retirement. And then they're out of work for 6 months. But my student loan debts, I'll be perfectly honest, I was at over $1,100 a month in my student loan payments per month. If I had been out of work for 6 months while I was still doing that, I don't know what I would have done. And so it's, you know, you look at the job industry has changed, and now what people are doing day by day needs to change. But that go to college and take out these huge loans is just dumb. And when I did my TED Talk, the day I did my TED Talk, one of the other TED speakers was a college professor, and he said, the college system is antiquated. He goes, my 7-year-old niece learned how to cook on a double barrel boiler from watching a 20-minute YouTube video. What am I teaching people anymore when you can go onto YouTube and find out exactly what you want to learn, how to do it, and then execute it right there, and then you'll remember it, versus sitting in a classroom, trying to remember it later, trying to put it on a test. You can learn things on the internet and then go execute them immediately. There was a great...
I would agree with everything except being a doctor.
I agree with you. I don't want you doing surgery.
Very few exceptions. I don't want you to learn how to do a triple bypass on YouTube, but
I also think, you know, financial planning maybe should be regulated, because you're dealing with people's futures and their livelihoods. I mean, we do still need lawyers. We just don't need them at the cost that it is, because law and medicine, my sister-in-law is an orthopedic surgeon. the amount of money she spent just to go to the interviews, just to fly back and forth across the country. Most people can't afford to do that. So now you're getting people in professions, you're pricing out half of our population or more from even being in these professions because they can't afford it. It's just, it's not a great system. And I will link in the chat room the TED Talk of the professor who talks about don't go to college, go on YouTube. It's really a great, it's a great position. And we're all here on YouTube.
We are.
Things. I mean,
no,
and
I
learning
completely
things.
agree with that. I totally agree with that because people ask me about my job. I'm like, well, yeah, my job is technical, but it required no prior training. My college degree is 100% irrelevant and had such little bearing that when I mentioned it, they were like, yeah, we're not going to pay you more just because you have that. I was like, okay. Disrespectful.
So you went to college and learned, you got real good at playing Halo while you were in college. That is what you learned.
Exactly. I got good at that, which I guess still, it gets me to talk about it on streams like this, but it hasn't benefited me whatsoever. I graduated from college a number of years ago. And even though I applied for job after job after job, every entry-level position wanted you to have 3 to 5 years of experience to be able to prove all these things. I'm like, I just graduated. How will I have the experience without you giving me the job? So it's like this catch-22 where I'm still having to pay back this education that I got, which wasn't completely useless, but it didn't prove the purpose that I went to school for. I went to school, learned a trade, was supposed to get out of school and get a job. That's what we were taught from when we were, infants. We were told, you got to go to college, get a good job. And I have a good job. Didn't need to go to college for it. And I'm still paying for that college education, which didn't help me whatsoever. So I'm right there with you, Emily. I have absolutely no intention of pushing our kids to go the college route. I definitely want them to be the best people that they can be. I want them to be profitable. I want them to be successful. But especially in this day and age when YouTube, like you said, is free, but it's free to access, but you can make so much money on YouTube. You can make so much money just about doing anything that you want to do as an entrepreneur. And you can learn those trades for free without having to pay someone else hundreds of thousands of dollars that you're going to be stuck with for years, depending on how much money you're making at your current job. You don't have to do that. And I'm definitely going to be sure that our kids know, sure, if college is the route that you want to go, I'm fine with that. But you don't have to do that in this day and age. And to be honest, I wish someone would have told me that when I was going to college, a decade ago, and just sat me down and been like, hey, you don't need this education. You don't need this debt, because right now that's all it is. It's debt. It wasn't beneficial. It wasn't anything. And it's not even good debt. It's not a house. It's just crippling debt that every time I have to click to make a payment every month, I'm like, oh my God, we should just buy a 75-inch TV and just be bankrupt. Just we're bankrupt so you can get these gone for 7 years. But yeah, no, it's
crazy, right? It's like, growing up, I grew up feeling like if you don't have the degree, it means you are not smart and you're not a valuable member of society. Like that's what you're expected to do. Yeah. You're expected to go to college and get that degree to prove that you're like worthwhile. And I don't think that's true anymore. I mean, I wish I hadn't, but it got me to where I am today. So I can't be too upset because it was the path I took. But you look at the big YouTubers, how many of them actually went to college? I mean, when we're talking about, PewDiePie started his YouTube channel in college and then dropped out, I think. Mm-hmm. You look at like Jaclyn Hill, became a makeup artist, was working for MAC Cosmetics, started her YouTube channel and makes plenty of money. You are seeing that people have a lot of value outside of necessarily needing a degree or somebody.
Mark Zuckerberg, he quit college when
dropped
he
out of
college.
Zuckerberg dropped out of college. Steve Jobs dropped out of college. Well, Steve Jobs didn't even go to college. He wandered around and took classes he was interested in. He would have loved YouTube as college.
Exactly. Especially when you have so many, even if you don't necessarily want to go the YouTube route, you don't have to go to traditional college or even an online school. You can take and purchase individual courses online, and plenty of excellent, reputable schools, accredited schools, have courses that they offer online for free. So you don't have to pay to get this education. If you're interested in something, you can dip and dab and pick up the information that you want to know without having to go in your pockets and shell out hundreds of thousands of dollars to get that education. I mean, I think that it's just how much the internet has blossomed since we were, you know, coming out of high school. And I don't think that in 2005, I think is when I graduated, I don't think I could have even imagined that YouTube would be where it is now, that you'd be able to take online classes the way that you can now. I mean, the whole architecture, the whole landscape of the internet is completely different than it was a decade and some change ago when we would have been coming out of school and being told these things. And I don't think anyone really even predicted that this is the course that things would have taken. And I wish, God, I wish I would have realized it before I signed my life over to Sally Mae so many years ago.
What about a same? Like, whatever happened to that? Like where somebody takes you under their wing and just like mentors you and gives you all the knowledge, but and like not just by like any old regular schmegular person, but like someone who like made it. Like
no, but that's how that's how lawyers used to be trained. That's how doctors used to be trained. That's how a lot of the big entrepreneurs are trained. The apprenticeship is definitely lost, and I think the trade schools are a little bit lost because you want to be a plumber, you probably need to go to school a little bit. You want to build a bridge, you should probably go to school for a little bit. But there's ways to do that where you don't have to sink 4 years into taking. I mean, I took like 3 semesters of sign language. I'm not a sign language interpreter, but it was one of the least boring required general education units. I don't need it.
School is overrated because if you think about it, so much can change in 5 years. So imagine going to school for 4 years. They're teaching you old stuff. By the time you come out, you're behind. You're behind.
It was so funny. Give you this quick story when I was in college, when I got my degrees, right? And my college professor, and I got my degrees in computer science, right? We all in the classroom, we all techies, right? We all know about computers and hacking and everything before we even went to college. So we in there like, and the professor talking like 1980s talk, right? And we said like, man, isn't it like 2010? What the hell are you talking about? I mean, you giving us this. Look, shouts out to colleges. God, I agree with you. I mean, colleges right now with the older professors that just teach the same thing year after year after year, and doesn't change the knowledge.
Yeah.
And when you go to school, especially in the tech field, like when I went to school for the tech field, we pick up before I even went to college. That's all I did was read books and watch this and read. So I already know a lot about college. I mean, I already know about technology, computers, and how to take them apart because I've done it before I went to college. I knew all the components inside a PC. I knew everything about a PC before I went to college, but I wanted to go to college. And listen, don't get me wrong. Listen, college teach you other skills besides your core subjects. We know this, right? I mean, you got to take science, you got to take English. And to me, I needed English. I ain't gonna lie to you. I needed to perfect my writing skills. I needed that. I needed to perfect my writing skills. So, English 1, English 2, and all that. That worked out for me. So those are some of the things that helped me out and stuff like that. So colleges does have its benefits. All right.
Yeah, you also pick up some good social skills in college too.
Yeah. So I mean, you do have.
I played a lot of Madden in college.
I learned how to not get drunk very easily in college.
I hung out with boys until I met my husband. I actually played water polo in college, so a Division I sport experience was really cool, and that's an experience you can only have in college. But yeah, it just, the education is not what it is. I mean, when I was a kid. Back in the day, you would go to your Encyclopedia Britannicas, right? Or you would go to a book and try to look for answers, right? But now my kids are like, can we just YouTube it? Can we just I don't know how to pass this level on Zelda, or I don't know what that jellyfish looks like. Can we just YouTube it? And even in class, their teachers are like, let's watch a YouTube video about it. Like, let's that they can see it. And my son did a report on some satellite in Saturn. We could watch the NASA feed from this satellite out by Saturn's rings and see it on YouTube. I mean, that learning experience is better than anything you're going to get from a book. It's like, this is actual video from space. I was blown away. I loved it.
I mean, that's amazing. But honestly, I wish that at some point in college, with all of the amazing skills, I know that one of the things they preached kind of at our school was they don't teach you what to think. You're supposed to learn how to think. I'm like, that's great. Wonderful. Teach me some life skills, though, like how to balance my checkbook and how not to completely F up my credit score before I graduate from college. Like, you know,
they want you to mess it up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they definitely do. Because they let you
Here's a free credit card.
Exactly.
And they give you all the free food with the credit card. It's like, here's a credit card, and here's like 4 Snickers bars and a free T-shirt, and you're like, yes.
I'm like, dude, of course, Snickers bars. I'm a starving college kid. Give me those T-shirts. I have no clothes. I need this. Thank you. Yeah. But I'm thinking like back even in like the student loan office. Like when I went to school, I didn't even really need loans. I had so many grants and things that kind of paid for my education. But I'm thinking like they're saying, well, you got approved for, $5,000 here and $4,000 there. And to me, I'm like, that's not that much. All I got to pay back is, just a few $1,000s. And that, I think I maybe took out like $14,000 in loans total in school. And I owe them like 5 times that now because of the ridiculous interest rates and how they've compounded everything over the years. And it's ridiculous. Like they don't tell you these things and you're 18 and 19. And unless you have amazing parents who knew about all this stuff, and a lot of our parents maybe didn't even go to college. So there's stuff that they didn't even know that you needed to know. And you're in the admissions office and you're in the student loan office and no one's telling you, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe don't use the $3,000 refund check to furnish your apartment. Maybe you don't need this money. Yeah. There's like, hey, so take it.
I can tell you, Big Tech said, and you know what? This word came up when I was in college, when I was taking math. Oh my God. He said, does anyone do anyone do you think on their job utilize the PEMDAS?
I do.
XRY,
I do with a random when my Facebook friends share those little those memes that Facebook, make you feel like you're smarter than your other Facebook friends, I be killing it with the PEMDAS. But no, not on my job. And I work in a technical field and I haven't used that.
I do. I use PEMDAS all the time. I use PEMDAS and I use ratio portion all the time, figure out sales. Yeah, I use that stuff. You use it?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Is that 1/5 of us?
So there's 1/5 comments that I wanted it to read. So one was from an 8. He said, my friend is about to finish a 4-year IT degree and hasn't even touched a computer in school outside of taking notes. I have literally taught him everything he knows about IT. Bless your heart, Nate. Bless your heart.
That's insane.
Of a God. And then Fox Mamba said, people learn many different ways, and YouTube is a great equalizer in teaching knowledge. People get stuck with labels. We know more than what we're told. That is so true. One of the things that they should teach people is how to have good relationship with others, because a lot of the times where you're at is has to do with the people that you know. Wink, wink, Eric. Like we're not, like we literally would not be here without knowing Eric.
That's true.
So that's one of the things that they need to teach. That they need to teach in college is just having good relationships with people, how to network, how to like just the 101s of starting a business and what not to do and what to do, aka donations do count as income. Like, they don't really teach that kind of stuff. And I think that those are some of the life skills that are just sometimes glossed over, but we deal with people all the time, whether directly or indirectly. And that's one of the things that we always need to know how to do properly.
So do you think, and I get this question asked a lot, politics plays a lot into your career, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Listen, with all this crap that's going on with everybody, all these big top guys that get caught with all the sexual harassment and all that stuff, shame on them. Oh, man. Right? And shame on the ladies.
Didn't Matt Lauer just get fired? Today? Matt Lauer got fired today.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, look, the ladies that want to get to the next level, listen, you don't have to put yourself through any type of things to get yourself to that point. If you trust in God and you do what you got to do, it's going to get there. And I think what a lot of ladies did back in the 80s and 90s and stuff, they looked at these powerful guys and they did things and they let these guys do things to them that was inappropriate. And that's a shame because at the end of the day, I think the respect for a lady outweighs everything. And these guys knew this, and now they're getting caught. Now they're getting on TV talking about, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch about it.
Or that's not me.
I didn't mean to touch about a coochie.
Well, they knew that was them. They knew that. Thank you, sweetheart. They knew that they could manipulate.
What is in the cup? What is in the cup? We got to know what's in the cup.
So this is Ciroc, some rum, and orange juice.
Yeah, like it's 6 of them already.
I'm sorry, my tolerance is a little high these days. We have a 2-year-old and 3-year-old. So this is my this is my
mommy juice. Mommy juice right there.
This is good mommy juice. Without it, I'm like eyes glowing red, steam coming out of my scalp. Please go away from me right now. But no, with a lot of these. Okay, topic. I'm back there. Okay, good. So a lot of these men, I think, they assert their influence in ways that I get what you're saying, Eric. You know, that women ideally would be able to wiggle themselves out of these situations. But if you're an up and coming actress, let's just use that for the example, since a lot of these people have been Hollywood executives and like power players in Hollywood getting called out for this behavior. If you're a Hollywood executive and you have been known to be able to make or break someone's career, and you put yourself in a position where you're making this woman feel like saying no to you, rejecting you, embarrassing or humiliating you is going to completely eliminate her opportunity to do this lifelong dream, you're kind of putting her in a really impossible position. And ideally, yes, we would all have the guts and the gumption to say, screw you, dude, and walk out of the room and just be able to be that bigger person. But unfortunately, in reality, it doesn't always play out like that. When you are that influential and you know that you have the ability to influence someone in that way, even if you're not, you know, physically coming on something, even if you're not doing things like that. Like there was, who was it? Oh God, I can't remember his name. The comedian, like last week, just got called out for exposing himself to women. So it's not even necessarily, you know, physically like raping someone, but just even exposing your penis to a woman just because you can. Yeah. That's not okay. And I'm glad that these women are finding the courage within themselves, because it's hard to speak out. If you look at, you know, the slut shaming and the victim blaming that goes on in the comment sections on these articles, it's disgusting. Yeah. And it makes you realize why people who actually go through this stuff don't report it the better majority of the time. Because why? You've already been victimized once, and now you're going to be victimized all over again, just by speaking your truth and exposing the fact that this happened to you. So,
well, and reporting it doesn't always do a lot. So
exactly
on the criminal law end, I did a very few sex crimes. A lot of my good friends are still sex crimes prosecutors. The juries don't believe it. And it's still something we fight with, is juries going, that can't be the way that it was. So you still fight with victims getting up, telling what happened, and people not believing them in their mind, and not saying, yeah, that's crazy that happened, but thinking, well, why were you in that situation? Why didn't you do something different? And why didn't this go down differently? It's like, well, I was unconscious, so this is how that went. There's a video. Yeah. But in my circle of women that I know in law, I know very few who have not had some sort of unwanted sexual impropriety in the workplace. And these are lawyers. They know what the rules are, but these are influential men who are powerful in their firms. And if you call them out, you can get blackballed from an entire industry, and then you don't feed your family. So it becomes this undercurrent. And what happened is a few women broke that undercurrent, and everyone else has started to come forward and go, you know what? There is an upswelling of women coming out, and there's strength in numbers. So when there are an upswelling of women coming out, other women are going to come forward. And the conversations I've had around this, almost every woman I know in my personal life and then in my kind of online circle has had some kind of unwanted either advance in the workplace, comment about their body, touching of their body, to much more severe and extremes of assault and more violent forms of assault. But I don't know anyone who's never had an unwanted touching or advance, and that includes the workplace.
That's sad. And
huge shout out. Huge shout out to a super chat. We just got a super chat. Thank y'all guys very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much for the super chat. GT is in the building.
We went from railing about college to like railing about. We just went like.
No. As women, we should also comment on this because I'm sure that people will want to know what we think about. But what I think is also going on right now is that we've kind of gone into this false sense of reality that this type of stuff doesn't happen, or that it's very, very rare, or that a lot of it is bullshit.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you no. You know, I grew up in Harlem in New York, so I'll tell you straight up no. Okay, it is. Women are treated as sexual objects all the time. And unfortunately, what happened is that when all of these professional industries were being called out for their, you know, men, you know, just preying on women and all of that stuff, when that was done and more women came into the workplace and it became more of a safe environment, nobody was looking at the entertainment industry because they were too busy entertaining us. And so now people are starting to finally speak up and they're like, oh, this will blow over in a week or two. No, it's not. You know, this is just an industry that just needed to be flushed out because there was just too many inappropriate things that were happening. And so even though in a way it is a bit late, it's just say it anyways, because the reality needs to be told out there that unfortunately, they're just unsafe spaces for women.
I mean,
even the men that are married to these women that get violated, they can't do anything about it either. So it not only does the woman become powerless, but the whole family unit becomes powerless.
But can I say this to be the devil's advocate here? I like to give another side of the story. But doesn't women do this to themselves sometimes? Think about this. You walk in the mall, you see them wear skimpy clothes. I'll give you a prime example. Back before Katrina, I applied for a job, right? It was a huge executive job. This was me and a lady. The guy, he flew from La La Land to come interview the two finalists. And I got in the elevator with the young lady. She was going to be the first person to be interviewed before me. She was in the elevator, and I'm telling you, she was half naked. I mean, she was in it. She had it on her mind that she was going to have. She got her breasts all out. She got on a skimpy skirt. She got so much makeup caked in her face. I mean, she spent $1,000 on hair. And I'm in there with a suit. I mean, you know, I'm a guy. And I didn't get the job. All right. And she got the job. Not that she wasn't qualified, because about 3 months later, I got a phone call from that person saying that, hey, the lady didn't work out. You think you want, and I give them the middle finger. But I say that to say that you do have some ladies that put themselves out there on TV, right? You see them with the booty shorts on, the tight shirts, the tight dresses, right? They exposing themselves, right, to the guys. The groupies, these big top rappers, right? They all in the clubs with they call themselves groupies. The whole point is to come on to people, to have sex with them, to try to be a groupie, to make love to them, all this type of stuff.
Okay.
So, but
yes and no. But see, Corey explained something to me, and I was really resistant and almost offended by the concept when he initially said it. But to me, and how he explained it to me, men in that instance have the power.
Yeah.
You know, if women are dressing skimpily and you reject them, you rebuff them, and you want, you know, a woman wearing, you know, you're only going to mess with women with turtlenecks and their ankles covered, then women are going to start doing what men respond to. So if that woman, for example, in your jobs interview scenario, she knew what may get her the job. It's the same sort of thing. She kind of played into it. And that's why I said it would be nice if ideally everyone could just have the lady balls to say, you know what, I'm not giving into this. I'm not going to play into this. But she knew what would work in her favor. And she took advantage of that, which I'm not saying was necessarily right, but it was still a man's authority, a man's power to say, you know what, I'm going to let that work for her. Even with me, I'm married. I have 2 kids. And I had a situation where a pastor offered me a job. I met him once. He came and was a guest speaker at our church, at our old church once. And he reached out to me via social media. I watched one of his live streams on God knows what social network at this point. But he reached out to me afterwards and was like, hey, you know, I remember meeting you. I remember your family. That was great. And, you know, it started off so professional, so, you know, upper level. And very quickly, it disintegrated. Like, he asked me to help him because I did study English, and I write well. I'm well spoken, not well spoken in necessarily these situations. I'm not being boastful, but just saying I know how to do those kinds of things. That's the nature of the work that I excel in the most in freelance world. And he reached out to me and asked me to help him with those things and said, hey, let me give you a call and we can talk about some of the work I need done. And then immediately on the call, this pastor, married with children pastor, is immediately coming on to me, telling me how beautiful I am, saying that he's going to be in our area very soon and how we can get a hotel room and that, you know, his wife doesn't travel with him and this, that, and the third. And it was very clear that he's just a sleazy dude using his position of power as a freaking pastor to fly under the radar as being a scumbag. So it's not even necessarily, yes, I will say that there are some women who dress however the heck they want to dress, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they deserve what they get. You know what I mean? Clothing, if I want to wear, should have not hired. Exactly. That was definitely in that man's decision to hire this skimpily dressed woman. That didn't make her more qualified. He's just a skeezy dude. And maybe she'd had an experience with him. Maybe she just knew that that would work in her favor. And some people will play into that. I'm not one of those people, but some people will. There's always going to be someone who takes advantage of the system to get what they want. And if you know that you have a man who's going to be sleazy and a slime ball rather, and if you come in there bearing cleavage and got some fishnets on and you're going to get the job, there's going to be somebody that does that to get the job.
Yeah. I like to say 2 things about that story. Number 1, I bet you somebody told her she looked good before she went out. Okay? Let's just throw that out there. Somebody told her, yeah, absolutely, these go out there looking like that, you gonna get it. You know, holla at me after you come back and get the job. Secondly, I don't believe that a way a woman's dresses is an excuse, because then you're saying that a man doesn't have self-control, and that's a lie. There's so many men that I've met that are just nice guys, you know, that don't fall into the trap. So I do not believe in that. Well, there are obviously some people who want to take advantage of the power that they have and then hire somebody who dresses provocatively, but I don't believe that men don't have self-control. Everybody has self-control. Like, we all have free will. So at the end of the day, that's that person's decision to make a decision that's going to devolve them and devolve their company. But you, Eric, had the wonderful opportunity to chuck them deuces at that person. Yeah. And you now just avoided a major disaster, because imagine if you went with them. Imagine all the drama that would have been there. Like, that was an awesome opportunity. Like, you just dodged a bullet, man. Like, that's awesome.
But you know what?
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna play devil's advocate from a woman's standpoint. Because I've had this conversation with many women in my office, and we've talked about it in different ways. Now, we honestly feel like every man in some capacity has crossed a woman the wrong way, even if he didn't acknowledge that he did, sometime in his lifetime. Point blank, every man. Not to say it was to the extreme that they should get fired from some job or anything, but sometimes guys make advances that aren't warranted. Now, on the other hand, you have some of these people that are coming out 30-something years after the fact. Some were crossed, some want attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that everybody's a liar, and I'm not saying everybody's telling the truth, but I do think that some of these women are in it for some shine.
Of course.
No, that's but that's going to be the case with any situation. You know, this is kind of, I don't want to use the word popular, trendy. That's not even the right word either. But this is like a thing that's happening right now. So of course, there's going to be some women who want to use this. There's always going to be people who are attention seeking, who want to get their 15 minutes of fame and abuse a real life thing that's going on so that they can kind of be part of it and jump on the bandwagon. But I don't think that that outshines the vast majority that I think are actually genuinely being honest about these experiences. Now, do I think it's necessary that folks get fired or, you know, completely lose their livelihood over some of these situations? Not necessarily. I mean, we don't know the full extent of some of these circumstances. We don't know if it was just an inappropriate comment versus a full-on sexual assault. We don't know everything about them. But I think that because it is such a hot topic right now, that companies and businesses, like the situation with Matt Lauer at NBC this morning, I think that everybody's just being super careful to distance themselves from any semblance of impropriety, that they're saying, you know what, we have evidence. We can terminate you, you know, for violating your policy, even if it isn't quote unquote that serious, because this is a time where there's a lot of women speaking out, and I think that there's comfort and security in numbers, and knowing that because there's a plethora of other people exposing these types of situations and circumstances, that other folks are like, you know what, it happened to me too. And they're feeling more comfortable in speaking out on it. So I don't necessarily think that a lot of them are lying, even if it is something older. I think a lot of them are just finally realizing that it's okay to be honest about an experience that you had, instead of before when it was like, you know what, this is just what happens in the industry. Shut your mouth and keep it moving. Because that's how things have been, especially before the internet being so popular and people feeling like it's okay to speak out against these powerful men and not have their whole careers thrown in the trash can. So I'm glad that we have this climate now where people are being open and honest about their pain and their experiences, because that's really.
Do you guys remember?
That's how you change the industry.
Do you guys remember what happened with all of the very many Bill Clinton accusers?
Yeah.
Bill Clinton accusers got lambasted, and Hillary came out and called them all liars, victim shamed them up one side and down the other. A lot of those were proven to be true. And then his behavior in the White House, politics aside, his extramarital behaviors in the White House kind of proved a certain character going on with him, with Monica Lewinsky. But I think a lot of that was an abuse of power, I mean, as well, right? And that's what she's come out and talked about. So we're now how many years down the road from that? 20 plus? And it's a different environment where women can come forward in groups and be believed. And I agree that that's why a lot of this is all getting drudged up now. I mean, John Lasseter just stepped down and took a leave of absence at Pixar because of improper decisions. And I think that the women in that situation probably said, we're not going to come forward if you step down. But even the head of Uber, they were having horrible sexual harassment in the workplace issues at Uber. And I think until we see more women in high roles in companies, presidential, vice presidential roles, women don't have anyone to go to high up in the company to say these things about and know that they're going to be believed. And a lot of women would rather go to the head of their company, be believed and have it handled, than go public with it. Most women don't want to talk about this, but there's no other woman that they can go to. There's no one that they feel safe going to saying, this is what happened to me. Because even HR people don't get this right and tell people, go sit down. And don't let the company to face liability.
Let me ask you a question. Is it now, with all this stuff going on, is it going to be a backlash towards men? This for me, I own my own business and I got female workers.
Yeah.
If I have a conversation to say if I want to reprimand or maybe counsel an employee, right? At this point, I had to have witnesses in the room, right?
Yes, you do.
I mean,
yes, you do.
Now at this point, but you didn't have to back then.
Not 20
but
years
now,
ago, but
with all this stuff,
even 10 years
right,
ago,
but
you
now,
did.
Right, but now, so every time you have a one-on-one session, this say, even if you want to give them a raise, you want to have a conversation and talk about performance, right? So even with that, you got to have a secondary person in the room as you discuss performance, or you discuss a possible termination, or you discuss any wrongdoing towards a female. So I mean, wow. So things, you know, when I do look at things now as being a business owner, and I remember back in the day when my boss used to have females in the office chewing them out, calling, you know, just like they chewed us out. Out back in the day, our bosses didn't care who you was, female or male, you get your ass chewed out either way. But now they can't do that. They can't bring a female in the office, slam the door, and say, "You suck. Your numbers suck. You this horrible."
No, you can't.
That way period, though.
No, not in the age of social media.
But you have
can't
to have
do that at all.
I mean, even doctors are bringing a second person into the room. Anytime you go to the doctor, even my female doctor and my female lady doctor, there is always someone else in the room with every doctor I go to.
Absolutely.
Male or female. Even when my husband goes to the doctor, his male doctor has somebody else in the room taking notes. And it's not just because that person is there to take notes because doctors forgot how to write. It's a liability issue.
Exactly.
So now there's not a I said, you said. When I go through stuff at the district attorney's office with bosses, there are always two bosses in the room. And all of my bosses were female. But there were always two bosses in the room. Because it's not just a male-female thing. It's now a position of power, non-position of power thing, no matter what the gender is.
That's what I was going to say. My manager is also a female, but if we have any like serious conversations going over policy, going over pay, going over promotions, anything of that nature, there's always a third party present. That way, like you said, it's not a he say, she say. It's not like a hearsay kind of situation. There's another witness. There's someone else there. It is a matter of liability at this point. With the doctor's office as well, exactly the same thing. Female doctors, if there's anything going to be happening where she needs to physically touch my body, she'll immediately get on the walkie and say, "Hey, I need somebody else in room 3," just because you don't want it to be questionable. You want to cover your butt, and you want to be able to be sure that everything is above reproach. There's no semblance of impropriety. There's nothing that you can even claim happened that was wrong because there was a third party present. So yes, I do get that you're a male boss and you do have some female people underneath you, but I would say just to cover your butt, definitely have a third party present, because just like God, I don't know your real name, Scrumptious.
Scrumptious.
like you said, there are definitely women who will maybe take advantage of the fact that there wasn't somebody else present when you fired them or when you demoted them or when you did whatever, and claim that they got this promotion because you said, "Hey, give me this sexual favor and you'll get this promotion." There will be people that say that, and that's unfortunate because it does undermine the people who do have legitimate grievances and who actually go through these things and survive these kinds of incidents. It undermines them. Like I've even seen in the comments, people saying even here that there are women who lie. And yes, there are people who lie, not just women. There are people who do despicable things, but that does not change the fact that there are a lot of men who actually have perpetrated these kinds of things that have made this become a topic of conversation right now. And I'm glad that we're having it. I'm glad that even in this live stream on Facebook, you know, in living rooms all around the country, that people are finally being forced to confront a lot of these uncomfortable issues, sexual assault, influencing other, you know, people beneath you because of your position of power above them. You know, even race, there's so many uncomfortable conversations that need to be had so that we can figure out the best way forward, so we can figure out how to make this crap not be the norm. Because I think that as men, you guys, in a way, it seems like men don't want to believe that other men are capable of some of the things that women say that they do.
Well, I think you're right. Good men have a really hard time wrapping their mind around that other men would do this because they haven't experienced it themselves. Eric is a good man. It's hard for you to wrap your mind that somebody would treat a woman this way. My husband's the same way. He's a really good dude. He's like, how could people do this? I'm like, let me sit down and tell you stories. My own and other people's. Let me share with you the things that I have seen. Women experience it in their life. It's not hard for them to believe because they've all experienced it or have had a friend or family member that's experienced it. Where men are like, how? Because you don't see it. You might know someone who's done these things. You don't see them when they do those things. And they're not going to tell you that they do those things. And we're not talking about just like slapping a woman's ass in a bar because she's wearing a short skirt. Though that's not appropriate either. We're talking about larger disparities of power. And I think that's when we have all these tough conversations, the disparities in power is where the problems lie. And I haven't mentioned on this live stream, but lawyers are messing up the world, Eric, which is why you have to have another person in the room so that you don't get sued by an employee saying he said this or that. It's because lawyers are messing up the world.
Yeah.
There's two things that I want to touch on.
Okay, go ahead, Catwoman.
Oh, thank you. So yes, men are being polarized right now, but I think another thing that needs to be polarized, and that is consent. We watch too many movies where, the person just feels it and then just kisses them. But you don't really know if that person felt the same way. Like with my husband, when we first kissed, I asked him, why haven't you kissed me? And he's like, oh, did you want me to? Like for him, it was like, and I said, I'm like, yeah, I do. And it was actually a sexy conversation for me. I'm like, oh, he's asking me. Okay, all right, let's kiss. But I think consent is something that's really big that it needs to be taught because it has not been properly taught to people growing up and then even
You're
now.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. There are a lot of states in the country that are afraid. God, I'm going to go lawyery. I'm sorry. But there's a lot of states now that are affirmative consent states. And this is something when I talk to high school kids about choices and consequences, I always talk about consent. I thought these high school kids, by the way, the first time I talked, I was like, we're going to talk about something uncomfortable. We're going to have to talk about sexual consent. Cheers went up. People were hooping and hollering and high-fiving. There was no shame. I'm so old. But there's a lot of states, and California is one of them, that are affirmative consent states, which means you have to say yes to each thing that is going to happen in an encounter. Silence is not consent anymore. In passive consent states, no is no, and everything else is kind of, we're good to go. But in these affirmative consent states, and there's more states putting this on the books, you have to actually say yes to A, B, C, D, the weird condom thing. You have to say yes to all those things. So no is not just no anymore. It has to be yes. And that's a hard thing to think of. I've got 2 sons. Like, how do we talk about, you've got to make sure everybody's on the same page. And if y'all have been drinking, maybe you need to wait till the next day because people don't remember what they said when they've been drinking. So that yes might not be a yes for long. And we're going to start seeing apps that just video record people giving consent because that's going to be the only
part
way.
of it. It's like, are we going to now allow technology to come into these type of consent situations?
It's going to have to. Because I don't know how else both parties protect themselves.
Mm-hmm. If both people can digitally confirm that, yes, this party said yes, and this party said yes, that way everybody's butt is covered. It may not be the sexiest thing in the world, but when you're in a situation, like you said, Emily, where you've been drinking, alcohol, obviously, decision-making skills, it impairs you. That's what it does. So if you're saying yes in this circumstance when you're under the influence, then maybe you wouldn't have said yes before, and now you're claiming.
I didn't want to grab about a. Can I just grab about a?
No, you can't just grab her. No, you can't just grab her.
No, you can't grab her by anything. Yeah. Don't grab me by any part of my body that I haven't told you you can grab.
I just want to rope her. I love her. I just want to kiss her. Can I kiss her?
Okay, the only one that you can grab is the Oracle. You have a contract that says you can grab her by
You have a contract that says you can.
But, only, she can tell no too. You know what I mean? I know I have female friends that unfortunately have been assaulted even in a marital relationship. If I tell you no, and I mean
it's still no.
You don't have permission to access my body just because you think you do. That's not a thing. Like that's not a thing.
And that's where safe words come into play.
Well, spousal assault and spousal rape are still sexual assaults and are still illegal everywhere in the country.
They are. And one of my friends, unfortunately, she went through a divorce last year, the year before last, and that was a situation with her and her husband. She straight up 100% no, I don't want this. And he still pursued and took her despite her refusal. And it's, you know, it's a difficult situation when you're married to be able to say, my husband raped me. But that is a real thing that happens. But people are so hell-bent on victim blaming and slut shaming that they don't believe that these are real situations that women go through. And I'm not glad in a way that I'm happy that these things happen to these women, but I'm happy that there is a light being shined on them. To the point that even in this, you know, Wine Wednesday conversation, that we're able to talk about this, because it doesn't get talked about. It is uncomfortable and it is true.
But it's the same. I mean, what you're bringing up is you don't know what you don't know. So
exactly.
I live in Southern California. We are a pretty diverse society. I've grown up with friends of all races. But when my friends who are Black tell me some of the stuff that they put up with, I'm like, you've got to be joking me. Like, you've got to be joking me. It's not that I don't believe you.
This is Ladies Take Over, but Eric has been trying to say something for a while. Now.
Oh, sorry,
Eric. We should let him say what he's saying. Okay. All right.
We're having our own
Eric,
conversation.
This is your channel. We're so sorry.
Good night.
Ladies take over. I don't care what y'all say. Ladies
We
take
took
over.
over.
Look.
We
You don't know
just
what
share
your
our
experience
experiences for your audience, man. We're just
and
trying
you don't-
to we're trying to shed light.
You don't know
Let
what
me
you
tell
don't
you something.
experience.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. This is what this platform is for. This is Wine Wednesday. The ladies take over, and this is great conversation. And let me tell you something. This is awesome. I'm not butting in or anything, but this is great conversation because people need a platform. The ladies need a platform to voice their opinions. I know we talk about tech and all this, but this is real life stuff. This is what I want to bring to the table. Nobody else. Everybody wants you to stay silent. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. But
Yeah.
We've made fun of multiple presidents. We've talked about digital condoms. I mean, we've covered it, but I think, covering the you don't know other people's experiences until they share them with you and try to listen to those experiences is something that we're not having enough of going on. Because I have friends that are women and friends of different races who are afraid to share their experiences because they won't believe. And the more people who share the experiences, the easier it is for those of us who haven't had that experience to understand and start to embrace that this is your experience. That can't be right. I'm not going to allow that experience in the people I know or see or change.
Absolutely.
And that's how we understand each other, right?
Yeah.
And especially as a woman of color, I feel like we very, very quickly kind of get shuffled to the bottom of the folks who are believed about certain circumstances. We are very much sexualized in the media. And even like you said, Eric, with, you know, Real Housewives even, and other, you know, reality shows and all kinds of things, they portray Black women very overtly sexual, dressed scantily clad and pursuing men relentlessly, being the groupies at the concert who are trying to get, you know, impregnated by the random rapper. But everyone isn't like that. But because that is what's portrayed in media, that's what people think about all of us, unfortunately. You know, they think that we're all just promiscuous women out there spreading our legs for a welfare check and God, why is my brain broken? It's 11 o'clock and my husband keeps refilling
mommy
my
juice. It's the mommy juice.
We're all trying to get the child support checks, and that's not the case. You know, it feels like it's easier to rationalize and discard people's claims about what happens to them instead of being able to accept that, oh my God, other human beings can do terrible things sometimes, and accepting that. You know, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be as deep as a full-on sexual assault, but unwanted sexual advances. You know, using your position of power to influence me to try to do something that I wouldn't otherwise have done. There are a lot of things, and they happen far more often than you would even think, because it's so uncomfortable to talk about, and because by default, we're not believed about those things happening. You know, it happens so much more often. I bet you, Eric, if you took a poll of all the women in your life, more of them would say that this has happened to them than would say they've never experienced it before.
Wow.
Of any race, of anything. More of them would say it has happened than would say it hasn't.
My male friends were shocked by the hashtag Me Too that happened on Facebook. They were like, almost every woman I'm friends with on Facebook put up hashtag Me Too. Does that mean them too? And I'm like, Me Too means me too.
Yeah.
So that's there. It's a show of I have had this experience, and it was visual, and that was powerful, seeing the feeds. I mean, it opened up those conversations. We got way far off of tech this evening, but I think it was a great conversation to have. Chat room's still here. Go chat room.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking with us.
we got they're the conversations that need to happen. That's why I love this. I mean, we're just having the real conversations. We're talking big TVs and sexual consent.
We've gone from everything from Black Friday to don't grab me by the parts I don't want to be grabbed by. we've covered the whole gamut here.
You know what? Every Wednesday, I'm going to have this. And I started this about 2 months now. We're about 2 months now, right, Catwoman and Scrumptious and Emily and everybody that come through here every week. Every week, we have these conversations. We always go on the deep end. So it start off about tech a little bit, but eventually it goes off into personal. And you know what? That's great. That's the ideal here. The idea is to have the ladies, have y'all ladies on here. And I call it Wine Wednesday. Sometimes you drink, sometimes you don't. It doesn't matter. But the ladies takeover is for a reason, to give you a voice. Not just because you're YouTubers, not just because you're bloggers, not just because of this. Is to give you a voice, to give a ladies a voice. And I challenge that any lady that watched this YouTube channel, watch this video tonight, if you want a voice, if you want to come on this live stream on Wine Wednesday, contact me. We set it up. It's no big deal. It's a lot of, you know what? I get this a lot after I started letting people on the show. A lot of people say, well, easy. How did I get on the show? How do I get on this show? And I tell them, just email me. Well, I have Kevin contact you. We set it up. It's no big deal. We don't restrict from nobody to come on this show. And especially the ladies. We want all ladies from every nationality, that every situation, whether or not you black, Korean, white, it doesn't matter, Mexican. And I've had a lot of different diversities on the show.
And Eric could take you with a flip phone.
I mean, right? You don't have to be Android or Apple.
That's right.
You can
but we got 2 Apple girls on the stream tonight. We got to come back next week and talk Apple.
We have to.
Because we didn't get there. We got to come back next week and talk Apple.
I'm down for next week, Eric. Please invite me back. I promise we'll stay. We'll do more tech talk next time. Oh my God, the mommy juice.
But you know what? We say that, and they come throughout the week. Some stuff happens, or something go on, and we talk about something else. But listen, this is an open platform. It doesn't matter what your ladies talk about. And I mean, listen, it's an open platform. We live. That means that anybody that's able to hit that link to this YouTube channel to watch this. It doesn't matter from people that want to, speak their piece about what's going on. And we could talk about the tech field. We could always go back into tech because we are techies by heart. But at the end of the day, this platform is designed to give y'all a voice, because us guys, we dominate YouTube. I mean, just be honest. I mean, you got not more guys on YouTube that's YouTubers than females. But we do have females, and a lot of people that come on this show that's YouTubers. A lot of my people never even know them. And they never saw them, never followed their channel. And there's some small YouTubers, but this is a platform to get people out. And I would continue to do this. as long as I have this channel, and I dedicate all my Wednesdays to this. And I told my wife, I said, it's Wine Wednesday. We got to make sure we get the ladies on. And this is a very focused type of show here. And the Saturdays is great. Don't get me wrong. We got the guys on. We talk tech and BS a lot. But this Wednesdays is so important to me. So y'all guys ladies could air out whatever you want to air out. But we way over time. Listen, to me, time ain't a factor. It's not me. But I don't want to have these shows 3, 4, 5 hours and stuff like that. 2 hours, I believe it's good enough. But we went way over time. So before we get on out of here, I'm gonna let y'all ladies speak y'all last piece before we say good night to everybody. Who's gonna be first? All right.
So next time when Emily and Shyington, you guys are on the live stream, when you guys say apple, can you guys say manzana instead? That would just be an amazing conversation right there. Okay, I'll be serious now. It was wonderful. I love you guys. This is Miguelina Betty, aka Catwoman from Tech Valor. You know where I'm at, Tech Valor everywhere. I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
It's been a blast as always. I've met new friends. Me and Tech Valor, we go in throughout the week, and I'm willing to go in with anybody else about tech. I'm on Twitter, Scrumptious1, and I'm on Google Plus, Scrumptious Kimmy. Hit me up, Hangouts, all that.
And I see you on Hangouts a lot, Kimmy.
Oh, I live on Hangouts.
I know. I see you post a lot on Hangouts, so I'll be seeing you a lot on Hangouts. Emily.
Guys, you know where to find me, Emily D. Baker, ESQ, all across the internet. I am most chatty on Instagram Messenger, but I also respond on Twitter. I love YouTube. I love this. We went deep tonight. It was awesome. What a good, real conversation with my internet friends who I've never met in real life, who I adore more than anything. I mean, what a great, real conversation. And chat room, thank you guys for hanging with us, not just screaming at us to get back to tech, because I think it was good. I think it was great. And it was, I adore you guys. All right, next week, back to Apple, Android stuff.
And last but not least, the tech couple. You had like, we was counting, right? I think you had like 9 drinks.
I did.
About to order that TV.
I told you he's about to get that TV right now. I got my Amazon card.
Just gonna put that on Prime, baby. Put it on Prime.
That's gonna be Prime.
You heard it here. You heard it here.
But no, thank you, Eric, so much for inviting me. This is my first Wine Wednesday. I've seen it before, but I've never been able to participate. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of your platform and introducing me to your wonderful subscribers and this chat room and these beautiful ladies. I very much appreciated the conversation. Believe it or not, I'm naturally extremely antisocial. So this has been a great experience for me. And thank you guys that subscribed. I think we got like 9 subscribers during the live stream. But again, I am Charisse from The Tech Couple. We are The Tech Couple, I believe, across all social media. It's my husband and I, we do have a lifestyle and tech YouTube channel where we kind of cover the full range from TVs and computers to stuff that technology that might benefit your kids to how to wash your car properly. You know, we kind of talk about it all, but I've loved being a part of this conversation tonight. I've loved talking about tech. I love talking about real stuff, and I love meeting great people, which Eric, thank you so much. I have been able to do tonight. So thank you guys.
Thank you. And thank you very much, ladies. And it's my honor and my privilege and my pleasure to have you ladies on every week. And I tell you what, we got to get Fox Mama back. She's been in the stream, so we're going to be reaching out. And hopefully we can get all y'all ladies back, same time, same place, right here on this YouTube channel. Thank y'all very much for coming out. This is Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. Listen, y'all got to go back and watch these ladies' channels. You got to subscribe to Scrumptious and make sure you check out our tweets and hit all these ladies up on their live, on their YouTube channels and blogs and everything, and watch their channel. These are amazing ladies. Think about it. Come on, guys, ladies that's in the building. Go on and do your due diligence. And also watch my YouTube channel. If you're new to my YouTube channel, thank you for being a new subscriber. We do this every Wednesday. I do 3 live streams a week, which is Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. I have a live stream this Saturday. I got the guys on. I tell you what, it's hard for the guys because they got to try to compete with the ladies, and it's very difficult. When we talk about this, we say the guys like, yeah, we go have some fun tonight. And I'm like, ooh. So I like the competition. I like the guys in the building. I like the ladies, but this is special to me. This stream is special to me because nobody's isn't doing this. People. You know, obviously I'm gonna have the haters. You go get the thumbs down people, the people that why you do this is a tech channel, why you got ladies on that? This is a man's world. Guess
blah,
what?
Blah, blah.
Without a lady, you wouldn't be here. That's it. Congratulations, ladies, for coming on the show. Thank y'all guys very much. This is Eric. I'll see y'all guys Saturday. Peace.